feeling reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to what's talk raps. You're listening to what's talk raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Oh. Sorry, technical difficulties again. Yeah, this whole Elon Musk trying to force us to have X, and so in the first few minutes where we go live, I'm trying to make sure that we have an actual link on our account because, you know, we can't just stream directly to our account. And so caught me looking down and not looking at the screen again, trying to make sure that I had it. But it is what it is. This is Grapsody.
It is.
I'm Phil Lindsey.
You are.
Righteous Reg is here.
I am.
It's Saturday. Sticky
it
icky
is. It's big time Saturday. It's your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. It's Grapsody. It's your boys. I feel like only thing in my brain is Olympics. I've been watching so much Olympics, Phil. Like, I don't even know anything else in the world. Like, I don't know what music came out. Wrestling, I forgot about it because it's all just Olympics. And shout out to my favorite Olympic breakdancer, 17-year-old out of Lithuania, Lil Nika, killer.
No, I thought you was about to say Ray Gun.
Nuh-uh. Ray Gun was wilding out there.
Ray Gun was somehow the breakout star on the internet. All these reactions to her.
The Seinfeld one, I died.
Yo,
I'm on the floor, dog. Dum, with the arms.
Bro. Whoever did that put the Seinfeld theme over it, that was wow. That was hilarious.
Got me good.
But yeah, man, look, breaking is a part of the Olympics, which is crazy in itself.
What?
I was watching a bit of it. I think the men's breakdancing competition is today. I haven't seen any of it, but I was watching a bit of the women's, and I was seeing stuff like Snoop out there and like all other stuff we've seen, like Flavor Flav out in Paris. The rhythmic gymnastic competition was going, and the one chick had Thriller. I was like, man,
yeah,
the amount of contributions that Black music has given to the world, man, like it's insane.
Crazy. Yeah, I was watching the breaking thing, and I was like, getting a little bit emotional, man. I'm like, hip hop has came very far, bro. They had the breakdancing, but along with that, they had live DJs playing music. They had MCs out there, kind of competition, kind of getting the crowd pumped up into it. It was just like hip hop is really playing. They were playing actual hip hop cuts. Like there was a Roots cut that was playing at one point. I was like, wow, we are really outside.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, crazy. At the Olympics, but
at the Olympics.
Yeah. Team USA cut it a little close on Thursday against Serbia. Yeah. Serbia is a good team to nobody's surprise, except people that don't pay attention in international basketball. Serbia won the silver medal last year, so Serbia is good. And then they have one of the best basketball players in the world on their team, in Jokic. So go figure, they're pretty good. And they were giving it to Team USA coming into that fourth quarter. It was a 17-point lead. I was worried. I was like, oh no, man. Brian made this big thing about going out there and saving Team USA, bringing the gold medal home. You got Durant and Curry and all these superstars on this team. I was like, oh, go out there and lose to Serbia, bro. But like we talked about in Ask Grapsody, turns out Steph Curry is still Steph Curry. He still will hit some clutch shots out of nowhere. Embiid stepped up in the last quarter. Durant did what Durant does. Come to cross people up, and Bron is still Bron on the break. You can't stop this guy on the break.
No, he's gonna do that favorite LeBron move where he hits that fast break, and you can't. He's going past everybody. He's gonna shoulder block you on the way and hit a layup every time.
That guy going downhill, man. It's nothing you can do.
Yeah, but I was nervous for a minute there. I was kind of on and off watching it, and then you sent a message to the group chat where you're like, yo, Serbia might do it to him, and I'm like, damn, I should really get into it. So I like turned it on, and I'm like nervous here, and I'm like, yo, this is Team USA. I felt like, let me do the speech if that's what's going on. Y'all, this is Steph Curry, this is LeBron James, Joel Embiid. Like, Kevin Durant, y'all are some of the best players. Y'all are the best players in the world. What's going on here? And then all those guys turned into those guys. Embiid started being a giant and knocking people down, knocking people over. KD with the step back. Steph turned into the Golden State Warriors Steph and hit a big three. It felt great.
Yeah, what a comeback. Great fourth quarter.
USA, baby.
Yeah, the USA chants were starting.
I wanted American flag after the game. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. What's happening here?
I saw someone say that they turned into the actual Avengers and started getting along, like the third act of the actual Avengers movie.
Listen.
Somebody said that Carmelo was on the at the court side like Coulson, and all of a sudden he gave them the speech and they turned into who they were supposed to be.
Doug, I saw like some TikTok of one of the Serbian players did like Carmelo's move, and then like Melo, they shot to Melo. Yeah. They shot to Melo on the sideline, and he was like, "What?" And then they shoot to him and LeBron face to face, and he's just telling LeBron, "Hey, you saw what happened. You better do this." And LeBron came back with them red eyes.
Yeah, of course. One of my favorite players of all time, not just because he's a great player, because he can somehow cross you like a guard and can shoot over you and also post you up. One of the greatest scorers we've ever seen. Also, generational Twitter user, Kevin Durant, man.
I was going to say also at 4 a.m. on the Twitter machine.
Did not disappoint. Some of the Nuggets players and some of the Jokic fans were trying to hate in. Listen, man, I think the funniest tweet out of all of it, because there was some truth to a lot of his rant, but it was just funny that he was doing it at 4 a.m. But the one dude that was like, man, can you believe this Serbia team almost beat some of our biggest superstars? And he just responded with, where you from?
That's always my favorite response from KD is like, pull up, or like, let's play, or like, let's race or something. It's always like something.
Nah, and I mean, Serbia was great. That guard they had that was hitting all those threes was cooking them. Bogdanovic looked great. Jokic is Jokic, but nah, Durant coming on Twitter afterwards and coming for all these people and ranting. And parts of the rant were funny because I was like, this sounds like wrestling fans. Oh my God. It sounds like he was talking to wrestling fans.
The parallels were so sick on a lot of the stuff that he was doing. Yeah, that was so funny that at points in that Jokic was Devin Booker for some reason was up against Jokic, and I was like, you guys, can we switch? Because every time he was up against him, Jokic was cooking this young man. It was so I was like, yo, what's going on here? Let's switch.
I felt so bad. Every time it happened, I was like, bro, switch. Get this guy off of him, man. So the exact tweet from Swiper, and Swiper was like a known Twitter guy. He says, Serbia just took the most talented team in history of the planet to the wire with a medal on the line. Team USA was a 16-point favorite. The whole country should be proud. Durant's response to that was, where you from?
Because for real, it's like, where are you from, dog? Why are you saying all that? It's crazy.
Yeah. He was getting some tweets off. I have to find one of these tweets because it was so spot on. I was like, listen, man.
No, it did. There was hell of parallels, but USA ended up winning the game, and right after Grapsody is the gold medal game today.
Yeah, they are playing France. Young Victor Wembanyama and the French team. It's going to be tough to beat.
Them boys are coming to play.
I'm not as worried about them as I was about Serbia. France is going to be a tough team next year because when Wembanyama comes into his own, which this guy is already very good, when he really comes into his own and puts on a little bit more bulk, he's going to be very hard to stop.
Totally. And he's young too, super young.
Yeah, he's definitely the future of basketball. Durant responded to somebody and says, let's talk about fan culture that's been created recently. A lot of huge egos who believe they are the reason for the advancement of the sport, a lot of idol worship, a lot of hate and division based off wins and losses, a lot of disrespect of the work being put in by these incredible athletes, mostly by these people who don't know what it takes to be good at anything besides talking. Go do something and get out of the way.
Don't know what to do besides talking. That's crazy. Like, if somebody was like, "This is a wrestling tweet," I'd be like, "Yeah, you got me."
He was cooking, bro, and I was like, "Man, he talking to wrestling fans. He's talking
Honestly.
to hip hop fans. This could touch a couple of fan bases."
all the fan bases that I'm connected to, pretty much like that tweet applies. And hearing it from somebody, an actual superstar, somebody that's really worth something, makes it extra special. KD is amazing on the Twitter machine, and it's so funny because like there was this long time lore of him having these burner accounts, but I'm like, he don't need burner accounts, bro. He's on his own.
He jumped on his own account and was getting this off, man. This isn't as hilarious to me as the whole meltdown with Michael Rappaport.
Oh no,
that was very, very funny to me. That was very, very funny. The other tweet that he had was that's what y'all do. Y'all clowns use players to push these corny agendas y'all got. This is a brotherhood, fam. You're not a part of it. It's a problem now because social media got you clowns walking around with your chest out like you mean something. You don't. Your takes don't matter. I was like, bro.
Okay, KD tired of y'all.
He was getting them tweets off, bro.
I mean, I understand KD. Like, if he like looks up his name on the internet, it's all slander all the time, constant slander, and he is one of the greatest players of all time,
bruh. Yeah, nah, I was dying.
I love it.
That was great. Again, what an all-time great social media users in the league. I don't know if there'll ever be another Kevin Durant when it comes to this Twitter game. When I saw he was on these Twitter streets that morning, I was like, oh, I gotta check in. I gotta lock in.
Mm-hmm. Everybody else in bed, rested up. No, KD's getting these tweets off, brother.
Bro, at 4 a.m. in Paris, bro. But man, like that other clip that came out with him sitting next to his mom, and he's saying, "You gotta celebrate these moments." Like, come on, man, we made that comeback. How you not gonna celebrate that kind of win? Our section had the USA chance. I was like,
yeah,
nah, he might be right, bro. I'm sorry.
That's hard. Yeah, no, he was cooking. I don't think we I think we kind of take it for granted because what they said, they've won 58 games in a row. Like Team USA, we like. No, like you guys are the greatest basketball players of all time. You should go and win the gold medal. Like it shouldn't even be a competition. And we might take it for granted that we're seeing KD, LeBron James, Joel, Steph, Devin Booker, Bam, like all these people together playing amazingly. And we're just like, sometimes we're like, you see tweets like, you guys should have blown them out. And it's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, the other controversy we've seen for the last few days is why aren't they playing Jason Tatum?
Oh,
there were a lot of people upset about that. They had Bob Cousy out here talking about Steve Kerr, like, what are you doing? Why aren't you playing him? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I mean, you guys are trying to make another go at winning a championship next year. I wouldn't be that mad about one of our star players getting rested during this time. And Jaylen Brown's not playing. He's getting the time to rest. You're going to get to come into training camp with fully rested guys.
Come on. I mean, and they get a gold medal for being there too, right? Like, yo, I'm on the squad. I helped.
And I mean, if they were losing and it was just like, yo, put my kid in the game. Why y'all? He can't even get minutes in the game at garbage time. I get that, but they're winning.
They're winning.
They're heading to the finals.
Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna say it's not like they need them because of course they need them, but like they're doing fine. Like if they desperately needed him, he'd be out there.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think all of it's funny. The fact that Bob Cousy of all people was yelling at Steve Kerr, that made it even funnier to me. I was like, where'd Bob Cousy come from?
And then this dumb idiot journalist, I don't even know what this guy's name is. He puts out this clip of like, he's like, oh, LeBron James was talking about how he's mad at Steve Kerr for not playing Jason Tatum. And then it's just an AI clip. I'm like, bro, you can't. Like it's like LeBron James sounds like a robot. I'm like, yo, journalism is
this ain't real, bro.
To the whole. This is not real at all. And you're trying to push this like this is real journalism. It's bad outside. Real bad outside. Shout out to KD.
Yeah, sports are back, man. Football is back. I have not seen any of the Bears Hard Knocks yet, but
it's out already.
Yeah, Bears are the subject of Hard Knock this year. Won't get my hopes up for this team again, buddy. You won't trick me again. I've seen people saying they're optimistic about certain things. I'm just like,
should be.
Listen, man.
You can't even be optimistic.
Right. This team has lost for every year that I've been in existence. The only time they've won, I wasn't there to see it.
Every year that I've been in existence is a loss.
They are perennial losers, bro. The year they got my hopes up, they went to the Super Bowl. I will never forget the hurt of watching that game and watching us lose. Shout out to Devin Hester, by the way, a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest kick returners of all time.
Totally.
Watching him return that kick in that Super Bowl, I was just like, nah. I was talking cash shit. I was like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
The guys from Indiana think they about to beat us. The Colts, fuck out of here. Old ass Peyton Manning.
Oh,
we got these guys,
man.
and that didn't go the way I thought. But yeah, shout out to Devin Hester. Also, shout out to Mongo. Very
Mongo.
painful watching him accept his Hall of Fame jacket that way. But at least blessed that he was there to get that experience, that his family was there, and he was surrounded by friends and loved ones. But still just sad to see him that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, shout out to Mongo. Shout out to Devin Hester and all the other Hall of Famers from this class.
Yeah, and hopefully you get some joy this year with a couple of Bears wins.
Listen, I'm gonna try and keep up with the team, but I don't have my hopes up for anything. I can't do it. I just can't.
At least you guys are getting it's still Chicago, and you're getting cool shows and stuff like that. So shout out to you.
I gotta take the things I get, man.
Exactly.
It's just,
like you have a team. A lot of people don't even have a team.
Yeah, man. Las
Even
Vegas.
if they suck. Would you take a sucky team over no team?
I suppose. I mean, there's a culture around being a Bears fan, just like there's a culture around being a Cubs fan, even though they're losers. Like
exactly.
I personally would not subject myself to being a Cubs fan. I don't know why people do that, but there is character to being a Cubs fan. That's
there's
why
a
lot
rich history, as some would say.
Yeah, that's why there's a lot of people outside of this city that are big Cubs fans.
Exactly.
I can't.
It's infectious.
No, I'm a Southsider. Like,
yeah,
Cubs fan.
It's blasphemous.
Yeah, as always, if you want to be a part of the conversation, send us your questions, whatnot. Send us a super chat, and you can also send us a Humper chat where we get more of a cut. That's humperchats.com/Fightful. Shout out to all of our regular super chatters. Also, shout out to our audio listeners. I was very surprised this week when I tweeted, hey, man, I don't know how many people strictly listen to audio. Turns out a lot of people do. So, hey, shout out to all the audio listeners that cannot see our faces every weekend, but still support, and we appreciate you.
Yeah, shout out to all the homies that are commuters that constantly tell us they're listening to us on the way to work, way home from work, way to shows. Phil was telling me about someone on the train listening to the show or something you were on, or at the same time, or like
when I was going to St. Louis, there was somebody on the train listening to the pod, and I was like, on the same train. It's crazy.
Just like random moments like that are so amazing. So yeah, shout out to all the audio listeners. Like, we're so Twitter based and social media based than video based that I don't even think about audio a lot of the times. And they're a big chunk of our listeners. So we always appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all are the best. Y'all are cool. Let's get into a few super chats and then we'll move forward to whatever we're talking about this week. I actually watched a lot of WWE, funny enough, this week. I watched Raw and SmackDown. So
I thought you didn't like that company. I saw a lot of people on your head top about that.
I was like, am I supposed to watch this? I don't know if I can like this. They told me I can't. They told me I'm not supposed to watch this. I've been watching this show for 35 years at this point.
Man. Notorious WWE hater and his Fed-friendly podcast host. You're not supposed to be doing that. 35
years. I've invested more money into that company than any company by far. Any other name a Minute Maid, Doritos, cars. No, WWE has gotten more of my money, and beyond that, so much of my time. They've gotten, if we get ranked minutes, WWE is exceeding everybody, family, girlfriends, school. WWE is number one by far. So when I hear these things, I'm like, my guy, I've been
questioning his devotion.
100 billion hours into this. Fuck out of here. Grapple Geekery says Taco Bell plus hobby time plus Grapsody equals my Saturday.
Appreciate you. Grapple griftery.
Come on, man. What are y'all talking about? Eloquent says Yachty thinking he can hang with Joe Buttons on a track.
Yeah, I didn't catch all of that Yachty interview. Bits of it that I saw were kind of funny. The part where he asked Joe Budden to his face, why does he look like Benson from regular show, was very, very funny because he does look like Benson. Oh my God. Very, very funny.
It's funny because like there's that generational gap and stuff like that will happen, and Buttons is like, he don't know what's going on here. He's just having a good time. But yeah, the homie Eloquent is speaking on at one point in the podcast. Yachty's like, hey, if we got on a track right now, who do you think would have the better verse? And Joe's like, well, if we do like one of your wild video game beats, you'll probably have the better verse. And he's like, and Yachty's like, no, we'll use like one of my Alchemist beats. And Joe Buttons is like, all right, like this is. He's like, if I wasn't
Joe
retired,
over Alchemist, stop, dog.
Come on, dog. He's like, if I wasn't retired, I'd be offended by even having this conversation right now,
bro.
And still beyond that, I will tear you. I'm like, y'all, they got Joe Budden so fucked up. This narrative has been created of he's a failed rapper, so all these people will just like. They think failed rapper means not great rapper. And it's like, no, these two parallels don't. First of all, wasn't a failed rapper. And second of all, those parallels aren't the same anyways. But they forget this guy was a part of Slaughterhouse, Phil. Like 3 MCs that will eat your face off. He had to like come with the hardest raps of all time, all the time, just on a regular song. And Yachty's thinking he could rap with them.
Listen,
what happened here? Because you rapping with Drake?
Bro, I listen to Secret Recipe pretty often. And Cole smoked Yachty on that record.
Come on.
Smoked him. Like it wasn't even close. And you think you can hang with Joe Budden, but you couldn't hang with Cole? No, stop, dog. Cut it out.
The argument is over right there. Cole slaughtered you, and he was probably just like having a good time.
Yeah. Great record, by the way, Secret Recipe.
Really dope record. That production on there is crazy. But yeah, just insane. The narrative has changed since Joe Budden has switched to media guy. But no, I'm 100% certain if they rapped right now, Joe Budden is still tearing him out. Like no competition.
No.
Deontay Soignier says, watch G1 live, 5-star Grand Prix, and man, I love wrestling. Olympics brought a smile to my face. Ray Gunn greater than MJF. Can't wait for All In, and the OTC is back. All love always. Reg versus Denise, All In. Denise she don't want this.
Denise don't want no smoke.
No, I'll be the first and the last for her. Yeah, shout out to Deontay. We always appreciate you. One of our supporters that's always supporting. You watched a lot of wrestling, it looks like, and it looks like a lot of great stuff is happening in Stardom, actually.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first night of the 5-star yet, but looked good. Anna Jay had her debut, picked up a big win in her first match. I saw some of the videos. People were down on Hate as a group because they're no longer Oedo Tai.
Right.
And Saya Kamatani has done a heel turn, and she's changed up her look and everything. And coming into the show, she was just like a emo goth chick, and people were like, I don't know about this. This is the move, because she had like all of the tropes of a goth chick, like the fishnet, the dark hair. It was just like, this looks kind of hokey, but turns out still has that aura when she comes out and it's time to wrestle, because that entrance was fire. The gear and everything, presentation looked incredible. Now I haven't seen the match yet, but just that bit of it, I was like, nah, might be still cooking. I don't really care for the name Hate though. Oedo Tai is just miles better.
It sounds so it rolls off the tongue much better and everything. Hate seems like just like, all right, that's interesting. I understand the acronyms and all that stuff that comes along with it, but it just doesn't read as well as Oedo Tai does. There was Stardom is actually doing, with this Marigold kind of stuff and Rossi dysfunction. They seem like they're coming back strong. They're trying to establish some new things, and there's a lot of good energy coming out of that promotion right now. Yeah,
I think they're just kind of in a rebuild phase.
Yeah,
but they'll get it together. Man, I was cautiously excited about the G1 after the first night, because night one was really good. I was like, oh man, we might have a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
This this year's G1 has been incredible. It's been the most wrestling I've been enjoying this year. If like at least since the start of this tournament. Like I've been tapped in. I've watched almost everyone live.
Right.
There's episodes of Raw and SmackDown and Dynamite that I have not seen live, but I will be up to watch the G1 because I'm getting the most enjoyment out of this tournament. Great tournament so far. I thought Night 12 was my favorite night so far. Takeshita has been far and away the MVP of this tournament. People are already worried about him going back to AEW and how they're going to book him.
It's crazy.
You got to push this guy to the moon, man. He's incredible. All of his matches so far have been bangers. Multiple matches so far between him and Goto have been some of the best matches of the tournament. I think Takeshita versus LP is a lot of people's favorite match from this tournament so far. Got 5 stars from Dave Meltzer.
Big 5.
It's considered the best match of the tournament this year. Dave saying, hey, man, I might overrate the WWE stuff after seeing that match was very funny to me.
Well.
I'm sure some people didn't think it was as funny, but Dave doing that and then proceeding to give Cody and Solo 4 stars was also very funny to me. I was just like, Dave, never change.
Oh my
Dave.
God. That whole exchange of, man, this match is fire. Maybe I've been doing a little too much over there in WWE. And then like days later being like, actually, this Cody match was in like, no, it wasn't. That's crazy. But yeah, it seems like Takeshita is doing exactly what we kind of expected him to do in this tournament. We know when he was announced, we're like, well, damn, Takeshita is going to destroy it because all the matchups are going to be fire. And the different battles that he's had with each individual wrestler is going to be insane. And he's done it here. It seems like all the best matches he's had.
Yeah. The last time we spoke on this podcast, I talked about how I was looking forward to Hanare versus Jeff Cobb the next night because I was like, man, big meaty men. And it was exactly what I thought. Big meaty men throwing each other around. Really, really fun match. Finlay versus Oleg was also on that card. Is it okay for me to just finally admit it, man? I might be a Finlay fan, man. This guy's been great. He's been one of the highlights of this tournament. Every time he comes out, I'm tapped in, man. I be sitting in front of my screen, man. For Savage Generations. Come on, bro. Get your shit off, Finlay. Tell all of these critics and naysayers they are wrong because he has been cooking in this tournament. Great heel so far. I think he gets the best performance out of a lot of guys. Other than Gabe Kid, who is another one who is getting the best performances out of some guys. People have been very down on Jake Lee. Gabe Kid by far got the best match out of Jake so far. Their match was incredible because Gabe kind of forces everybody to wrestle his style of match. He'll come out there and hit you very hard, hit you with a bunch of slaps, and it almost feels like the other person is like, wait a minute. Is this a match? Is this a real fight? Shit, I start hitting him hard too. And so, man,
the match.
Yeah, the match with Shota is the same way where he just comes out and he's just hitting Shota very hard, forcing Shota to wrestle his kind of match. Same thing with this match with Jake, where he just forced Jake to show him what he was made of. Ended up winning that match by a count out, I believe. So he just squeaked by Gabe Kid, but he earned Gabe Kid's respect afterwards. Really loved the story of it. Yuya Uemura has been one of my favorites in this tournament so far. Seems like he might have gotten hurt, which I hope it's not serious, but it did seem like he got hurt in this morning's tournament match.
Oh, no.
But, yeah. Hopefully he's okay. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Evil from Night 11 was fantastic. If you're one of those guys that are tired of all of this House of Torture stuff, if you're tired of Evil getting all these wins, because Evil was leading his block. He had 10 points at one point.
People were nervous.
And I was getting worried because I was like, okay, I want Zack to win this tournament. Zack wasn't far behind. He had 8 points. But Zack came out and beat this guy in 19 seconds. I got up out of my seat and cheered at 5 in the morning. I was like, yes, get this guy the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's the most excited I've seen anybody about Evil this whole tournament is people being excited that he had a 19-second match. Like the whole timeline was like the same way that you reacted. Yes, we got it. We did it. He's out of here.
Get him out of here. And I mean, man, I guess you have to give Evil his credit as a heel because it elicited that kind of reaction out of people that
Right.
a lot of people's favorite to win this tournament was the guy that beat him that way, and it immediately made people happy. Man, Zach running out in the crowd and standing at the top and doing the celebration he did, like when he beat Naito, really, really funny, man.
Mhm.
Really, really funny.
Is Zach going to win this?
I really hope he does. He's my pick to win. He is currently leading all competitors with 12 points. He is the first wrestler to advance to the playoffs so far. So looking pretty good for my pick. If you were a person that was hoping that Shota Umino would pick it up and come from behind, it's not happening so far. He is officially out of contention mathematically. Shota had a big match on that same card with the Zack and Evil match against Naito, which Naito does the same thing every year. He starts slow. He picked up a lot of losses in the first 4 tournament matches, but now he's got 10 points. He did the Naito thing that he always does, comes from behind, starts winning all of these matches in explicable fashion. It'll look like he's losing, and then he'll pull out like a roll-up or something at the last minute in very Naito fashion. But Shota was getting with Naito for most of this match. He looked like he was going to pick up an upset, and Naito beat him at the last minute. Very crushing for Shota, but it's what it is. We got Sonata versus Shingo on that card as well. Also a great match, but the match that, again, I think was probably the best match of the tournament from night 12, Takeshita versus LP. The story of it is really that LP has been lost character-wise. He's been trying to find his way without his tag team partner anymore. It's just him and Jado now, and it felt like the vibes were back. He came back out with the light-up jacket. He was all hyped up, and he had an absolute banger with Takeshita. If you don't watch any match from this tournament, man, excellent match. Takeshita in rare form. LP is LP. Great match.
5 stars. I'm gonna have to watch that one. I haven't watched a lot of the G1, but that's the one I'm really looking forward to watch. I'm gonna have to watch all of Takeshita's run, honestly.
I mean, you can't go wrong with any of the Takeshita matches. I think all of them are great. The Tsuji match was really, really good. He's got a very, very good match with Goto as well. Goto squeaked out a win. Man, tournament Goto has been fantastic. He is turning out
that guy's still in there.
Yeah, he's turning out to be a lot of people's pick to win the tournament based off his performance. I wouldn't be mad at it. It feels like this could be the year.
Feel good story.
Really, really good feel good story. But Tsuji versus Hinare, also fantastic. Ren Narita, to a lot of people's chagrins, has been moving forward, cheating, using a House of Torture shenanigans. I believe he has 10 points at this point. Let me double check that. He does. He has 10 points, so he is tied for the top spot in B block, which
more House of Torture.
Is what it is. But yeah, like I said, Goto has been fantastic. He had a really good match in the main event of night 12 against David Finlay. Incredible. He had his kids out in the crowd afterwards, and he gave a speech where he essentially said, if I can still show up and perform at this level, you guys have to show up and do your homework tomorrow. And his daughter immediately started crying. Very, very funny to me. But man, what a moment. He ended up leaving out, and he had his daughter on his shoulder and his son holding his hand out on the way out. I was like, man, we got to appreciate Goto while we still have him. And he has been fantastic, man. Wouldn't be mad again, like if he somehow wins this tournament.
I mean, with this rebuilding phase kind of thing going on, they lost some people. What's going to happen in the future? A feel-good story like this, and Goto has been actually bringing it, might not be the worst idea.
Yeah, might not be the worst idea. Jake Lee beat Shota Umino in the next night to officially take him out of the tournament. Very, very heartbreaking loss for Shota. And the fact that it was Jake Lee, I'm sure that didn't make fans feel any better. But it is what it is. far and away, I think the best match from Night 13, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Gabe Kid. Because again, Gabe Kid is going to force you to wrestle his style of matches. They have history together. I think the finish is fantastic. Gabe Kid refusing to give up, and Zach getting him in all of these holes, and by the end, getting him in the same hole that he beat him with before, and he refused to tap out. He did the pass out finish. Fantastic stuff. Gabe Kid is a star, guys. This guy has been incredible in this tournament. While I have come around on Finlay, Gabe Kid is still that guy, man. He's still just fantastic. And night 14 was this morning. Got Oleg versus Takeshita, which was also great. Oleg hit this guy with an incredible high angle German suplex. I'm sure that has been all over the timeline since this morning. That and that German suplex from the Olympics.
That Olympics, I saw the Olympics German suplex and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. But yeah, Jeff Cobb versus Dave Finlay was also great this morning. But the highlight of this morning was Yuya Uemura versus Yota Tsuji in a Wrestle Kingdom rematch. That was, of course, the hair versus hair match from this year's Wrestle Kingdom. And Yuya came around and picked up the win this time. Really incredible come behind win, but it did seem like he came down awkward after the frog splash. So I hope that he's okay.
These injuries are so unfortunate at this time in this tournament and every wrestling company at this point.
Yeah, but like I said, Zack Sabre Jr., my pick to win this game. Hopefully it's coming home. 12 points on the board. Leads A block. David Finlay is in a 3-way tie for the lead of B block with Ren Narita and Jeff Cobb. Right behind him, Yuya Uemura has 8 points along with Hiroki Goto and Yota Tsuji and Konosuke Takeshita. So might get right down to the wire with B block. Nobody has taken a definite win on that side. Personally, I really would like to see Takeshita make it all the way into the playoffs, but we'll see. I also would not mind Goto picking up the win out of B block and being the guy to go to the finals. There's only, I believe, 5 nights left. So by next week, we will officially have the end of the tournament. We'll have the briefcase holder ready by Wrestle Kingdom season, which just sounds crazy that this year is almost over. We're already preparing for Wrestle Kingdom.
I can't. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. This tournament is moving along so fast. That's why they say it's why they talk about how grueling it is. Like, that's a lot of wrestling for those guys already.
Yeah. Grueling tournament. But man,
some of those guys this tournament have worked more than your favorite wrestler works all year. I do the PWI, I know. Which is coming out soon, you guys.
Yeah, but yeah, the next night I believe is Monday morning. Because today is the 10th. Yeah, Monday morning, we got Sonata versus Zack Sabre Jr. coming up. Shingo Takagi will be taking on Jake Lee. Shota Umino versus Evo. And the main event will be Tetsuya Naito versus Great Khan. I don't know why that's the main event, but
it's a sick main event.
But I'm looking forward to it because, again, this tournament has been fantastic so far. It's restored a lot of my love for this company because I was very worried. Okada left and there was a big void for the main event scene.
Huge void.
I was looking around like, what does this mean for this company? And Naito is his age is catching up with him. Tanahashi is not Tanahashi no more. It just feels like they got to start building up a new crop of guys. And watching this tournament, it seems like they have it. Oleg is going to be a future of the company. Yuya Uemura is becoming one of my favorite wrestlers in the entire company. Shota Umino has shown flashes. He'll get there. But yeah, I'm way more optimistic about the future of the company now.
Honestly, yeah. After seeing this tournament and being like, damn, there's a lot of young Japanese wrestlers that for the next 10 years are going to cook. There's some good signs. It's just going to take a little bit of time to like Shota, you said, is on his way and he's shown flashes, but he's not there. It's going to take a little bit more time for development, but he'll be there.
Yeah, I think the story is there. I think when he does come into his own, it's going to reward a lot of fans for being patient.
Yeah. Like he's gonna be IWGP World Champion one day.
Yeah, I definitely can see it. He's got some of those vibes of Tanahashi. He's got he's got some vibes of other famous New Japan wrestlers. I need him to put a little bit more snap on that hidden blade that he does, the blazing blade that he does. Like if you're gonna do that move,
all his strikes, man,
you gotta stick it in, man. You can't just go out there and make it. I don't know, because the way that Ospreay does it, it looks like death when he does it. You gotta hit this thing and make it look devastating.
Shota's still developing in his strikes. I watched that match earlier this year live with him and Moxley, and I was like, gotta lay it in, big brother. And it seems like with every match, he gets better and better, but he's not all the way there yet.
Yeah, definitely in the Gabe Kid match, I felt like, because there were points in that match with Gabe where I was like, this is a real fight? What's happening here?
The best kind of wrestling match.
Yeah, but what a fun tournament. I'm going to get into some of the 5-star eventually this week because there's a ton of wrestling again. Who has time for as much wrestling we got?
I don't know how you're keeping up at 5 a.m. watching wrestling. It's crazy. I thought a 3-hour Raw was insane. Jess Ricardo says, good morning, Grapsody crew. Appreciate you, Jess Ricardo.
Appreciate you, bro.
Coy Stalling says, guys, Jason Tatum isn't better than anyone on the team. That's why he isn't playing. Like, what the fuck? I'm happy Slovenia lost Luca and can get some rest.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say he's not better than anybody on the team, but at his position, it would be hard to put him in over a bunch of guys. And I think that some of this is very much an overreaction. Now, didn't help that he also went out there saying he's the best player in the world. And he had the claim to say that because he's a champion. So, Hey, man, talk your shit. It's fine.
He should. Reggie Simmons says, sup fam, just showing love and support for the best Graps pod on the internet. Peace. Appreciate that, Reggie Simmons. That's dope.
Appreciate you.
Shout out to Reggie. All this is making me think about, because it's coming up, All Out a year. Saw so many cool homies last year at All Out, and I'm very sad I won't be there this year.
Yeah. Hey, you could make some plans to come last minute.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It's not over yet. Deontay Saunier says, as a man who legit ran home from work to not miss Raw in 2011, never have I felt more attacked by Reg saying WWE watch time. Telling you hours of time. Still. And Jess Ricardo says, Zack Sabre Jr. doesn't win. What are we even doing?
Yeah, again, Zach is my pick to win. I really want it, but I would feel less upset about it, at least if it's Goto.
There's some other ways to go, right?
Yeah.
But it should be Zach.
Nah, but if this ends, this would be it'd be just by luck after I gave Finlay all of this credit. We come out of this tournament and Finlay wins. I would just be like, no.
Not what you were saying. But you're putting a lot of good Finlay energy in the air, so you might. Good for Finlay. You want to use tournaments like this to develop and to show people that you are opposite of what they think. Because I came into this thinking the talk is like, why is he the leader of the Bullet Club? All this, why is he involved in so much? And he's like, no, I can really go. And so he's showing in this tournament that why he's in the position that he's in.
Yeah, it's not so much. It's not just that I feel like he wrestles well, but his character work, the way that he works as a heel in his matches, it's so good. And I guess it's also compared to when you see what House of Torture are doing and some of the other people are doing, it's refreshing that his heel work is mostly like, hey, I'm going to come in there and beat you down and grind you down and get the crowd on your side as much as possible.
He uses the match for his heel work.
Yeah, he's really good at telling a story in the match as a heel.
Which is dope. And that's really hard to do in this day and age, especially, with the style of what people want. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very old school style way of working heel. Yeah, he's really good at it.
He should. He's a Finlay.
He's a Finlay.
That's all of our super chats for now.
Let's get into some of these Humper chats. Appreciate you guys as always. Humperchats.com/Fightful.
Yes, sir.
see, we got some from Humper Chat's regular Tony P.
Yes,
So let me
sir.
start my possible 20 humpers off by saying rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan. Learn the impact he has had on the past and current people in the business, and the personal love that they had for him speaks volume about his character. Then he says some Olympics talk. Yeah, rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan. Massive loss to his industry. Big influence on a lot of guys. I was just thinking that when they showed the vignette for him during SmackDown and he did the fireball, and just thinking about how many other guys have probably been influenced by him, and not just as a worker, but the stuff he's done behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, Kevin Sullivan, rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan. The impact that he has on this business is gigantic. You think of a group like the Judgment Day and like, this directly inspired by stuff that seeds that he planted 30, 40 years ago. As a wrestler, I remember his matches with Redacted and that how real that they were, not that they felt, how real they were, because these guys are actually fighting each other, and all that surrounding that. I just remember I used to laugh at Kevin Sullivan when I was a kid because his move was the double stomp, but he would just do it off the mat, and I was like, that's such a funny way to do it, and he would do it on the stomach, just like a funny bit. And so I always remember that connection. But I think what he did as a booker, he played a huge role in a lot of like the NWO development and a lot of stuff that happened during the Attitude Era. When WCW was super hot, he was like booking a lot of the stuff. He was booking a lot of the finishes. Like he was very heavy and very influential in the development and the growth of WCW when they were at their height. So I think the role that he played in there might be even more important of a contribution to like wrestling history, just because that's always brought up in like Attitude Era. And on the other side, it was Kevin Sullivan helping create some of the greatest moments of all time. Yeah, so rest in peace to the homie. I was just watching a documentary the other day called Card Subject to Change. It's from like 14 years ago or something, and he's featured in it, and he was still wrestling and he was still doing his thing. Even till a couple of years ago, he was still very involved in the business. Like he loved pro wrestling so much, still was still had contributions beyond his retirement and all that. So yeah, rest in peace to Kevin Sullivan. What a guy.
Tragic loss. See more from Tony P. He says, on to some Olympics talk. Congrats to Richardson and Khalif on getting their gold medals. After Shikari got bashed for being happy for getting her silver after all the BS she had gone through in 2020. We already know what people put Iman through. I am so happy for them. Yo, Iman gave me one of the bars of the year when she did her acceptance speech, and she said, I had to go through all of that. They were all just enemies to glory. I was like, bro. I was like, all right, man.
Cooking. Yeah, shout out to Iman for that legit dealing with the craziest adversity. A lot of people, just off the backs of what happened initially, wouldn't have been able to continue, and she won a gold medal. So shout out to her. She took that on her back and was like, all right, I'm gonna show y'all. And she showed y'all.
Yeah, shout out to her. Well deserved. Shout out to Shikari as well.
Fast. Like, you can't. I'm not mad at anybody for medaling. I'm not mad at any. If you get 8th place, I'm still with you because you made it to the Olympics, bro. You know how hard it is to get 8th place in anything.
Third, getting a bronze. You're still the third best at something in the world, not just in your neighborhood or in your city, in the world.
In the world.
Like, nah, bro. Since when has being a medal winner, either bronze or silver, being a bad thing, bro? Like, you're still one of the best in the world.
You could say that you're legit the third best person in the world if you won a bronze medal. And like, I don't know how people are flipping that. It's been flipped a lot. And like, but you guys don't know the sacrifice it takes to get to the Olympics. It's so crazy. It's I was reading something about Simone Biles, and they're like, are you gonna be in LA? And she's like, yo, I'm 30. I've been flipping for so long. And in flipper years, I'm like 80. I don't know if I'm gonna make in 4 more years, you guys. Like, you guys don't understand what it takes to get there. So shout out to all those Olympic athletes.
Yeah, that's some of the reactions to some of the stuff has been very weird. But yeah, shout out to the people that are going out there and all the sacrifice it takes to get into this, because all of these people are not pro athletes. They're not sponsored. Some of these people, some of these people are actually like grinding it out and having to deal with the financial situation at home as well to get out there. And so it's not what some people
hard.
think it is. It's not as easy as some people think it is.
Like it seems like on the surface, like, oh, you're going to the Olympics. It's kind of set up for you. You're a country and blah blah. No, you gotta like pay. You gotta get people out there. You gotta like. There's so much that goes into the back end before you even get to the events.
Yeah. See more from Tony P. He says, people should stop being shocked about the Serbia-USA game. The world's gotten better at the game. A lot of NBA players are international now and helping to develop it in their countries. Some Americans play for other countries because they'll never make Team USA. No, basketball is a global sport now. So
Yeah.
all of the trash people talk about how this is our sport and how people got to catch up. No. The other countries have caught up.
The arguable best player in the NBA is on Serbia. So like, you know what I mean? Like that's where the argument begins and ends right there.
Yeah. See, 2 or 3 out of the last MVPs are not from this country. Because Giannis is from Greece. Embiid is from Cameroon, and then Jokic.
There you go.
So I know the sport is a global sport now, and it seems like Wembanyama is going to be running this sport in the near future. He's going to be the best player in the league eventually.
I was we were talking about the breakdancing earlier. I was a little bit salty that there wasn't any Americans in the final, but like that's how global hip hop is. Like I wasn't surprised that there was a Japanese woman in the finals for the breakdancing because they love hip hop in Japan. So like, yeah. They've been, and when I was like going to breakdancing events and filming all this hip hop shit, the Japanese homies were always some of the best out there. So I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. And but I'm just like, it should have been us, man. We started this, we created this. What y'all doing? Where Crazy Legs at? Crazy Legs like 80 years old.
I was about to say, get Crazy Legs out of retirement, bro. Get him out there.
Where my homie Crazy Legs at? We need you. Oh man, breakdances in the Olympics, still crazy,
wild.
Now they got to have rapping next.
It might get nasty if we do. More from Tony P. He says, "Don't be shocked if the USA don't medal in basketball in our lifetime." Speaking of in our lifetime, breakdancing as an Olympic sport and the USA, the creators are not meddling. Also, all these should be banned from the damn event until further notice. Nah, man, not too much on Ray Gun.
No, let Ray Gun do their thing. They had the little hat routine. I wasn't completely mad at it. I probably wouldn't have brought it to the Olympics. Like if I saw that and this wasn't the Olympics, I'd been like, no, Ray Gun was kind of doing their thing.
He said, before I get into petty of the week and Graps, who's gonna tell Little Boat he's not better than or beating Prime Joe? Little Boat. I was confused at first. Little Boat. There's confidence and there's not knowing better. Also, Phil, I think we can agree that we wouldn't mind a Gundam Wing live show with the right people in charge. I'm always leery about any live action anime anything. I've been binge watching a lot of Gundam Wing, and it's just a great show. Mm-hmm. And it's funny watching it now as an adult because I remember as a kid thinking like, I don't understand a lot of this like war stuff and politics. And then as an adult, I'm like, wait a minute, a lot of this doesn't make sense.
You became an adult and you're like, wait, it still doesn't really click.
Wait, I understand politics and like all of the stuff that they're talking about in the show. And some of this stuff is very much anime politics. That makes sense.
Okay, so my question then is, are there any live action ones that are actually worth it?
The Rurouni Kenshin movies are good. Some controversy around that because the creator of it has some wild things attached to his name.
Jesus.
But it is... which is unfortunate.
So tired of that.
Because I'm a big Rurouni Kenshin fan, but the Rurouni Kenshin live action movies are good. I have not seen this One Piece show.
That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, I don't really have any interest in watching it. It's really tough to get live action anime right. I think the
Right?
closest, funny enough, one of the best live action anime things we've gotten was the Speed Racer movie, and that is very much a cult classic with people.
Right. Yeah, that was like thinking like I can't think of any live action ones that people are like, yeah, that's the one. Like everybody's like, no, we'll just stick to the originals.
Speed Racer is the closest I've seen of anything that's captured the actual energy of anime.
It's so hard to do.
Yeah,
honestly, you know, if you want to get the real shit, it's hard to like. Special effects sometimes are like, all right, you guys.
Yeah,
the Dragon Ball Z movies always make me laugh.
So bad. That movie is so bad. God awful.
It's just like a random white guy playing Goku. Like, all right, you guys keep this, I think.
Yeah, they definitely could have kept that. We didn't need that.
It's like when Flex played Michael Jackson. It's like, nah, Flex, you could have let him keep that check, I think, big dog.
That awful movie as well.
I just saw a clip of him talking about it, and he was essentially like, yeah, they offered me a lot of money, and he's like, initially they said they were going to have the Michael Jackson music, and I'm like, why did you believe that?
Yeah, nah.
Why would anyone ever believe that?
Nah, that wasn't a good idea. That everything about that movie was just a complete and utter miss. See, more from Tony P says, for Petty of the Week, two people come to mind first. One is Walls, who comes out the gates swinging after getting picked as Harris' choice with couch fucking jokes. And then there's Bronson with 6 damn tsunamis on Seth. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself up in here. Who's your 2 picks? You don't get much bigger than Walls. Basically starting the trend of calling these guys weird on the internet.
Yeah.
And then once he got picked, he was like, "Oh man, I've been waiting for y'all to set it off. I'm here now. I can really get my bag."
Yeah.
Now Walter's been out there. He had his camo hunting hat on with the orange text on there that looked like Austin's hat.
Stone Cold hat.
I was like, man, he's outside, man.
Nah, as soon as I saw the Stone Cold hat, I was like, oh, I know exactly what time it is.
Nah, bro. This was a great pick. Might be tough for them guys on the other side, man. You got
big fan. They crumbling over there.
Got Waltz with the Waltz Wisers out there, man. It's over for this, man.
Your homeboy said he was bigger than Martin Luther King.
We gotta stop letting this guy talk, man. We gotta stop it, man. Like we gotta stop letting him and
every time I see a clip, I'm like, you guys, why they should have cut the mics, turn the lights off, cut it all off, dog.
Absolutely awful. Him and Kevin Sorbo this week. Just
what is Kevin Sorbo doing,
bro? I used to like the Hercules show a lot, man. I used to watch it every Saturday when they had the little action hour with him and Xena right after.
The back to back. Come on.
I used to love it. Man, Kevin Sorbo is such a fucking dork, man.
What
Fuck
a
this
fucking
guy.
loser, what a fucking dork. Yeah, man, that I can think about like those Saturdays, 1-2 p.m. in the afternoon, those back to back, like that was the time. That's ruined now. I think about that now and I get mad because this guy stinks.
He sucks. Yeah. Sorry. Lucy Lawless will forever be better than this guy.
Lucy Lawless is dope.
Let's see. We got a bunch more from Tony P. Just want to line these up and make sure I got them all. He says, well, they did the thing with JD on the same night. The real One Smoke and the mirrors compared to Priest. The Raw afterwards fire made me have FOMO. I just know I can't do a 3-hour Raw with all the downtime. I would prefer SmackDown, but it's blah currently. Yeah, I thought Raw was very, very good. SummerSlam was fine, but I thought Raw as a follow-up episode to SummerSlam was very good this week.
You know, kind of what Tony's talking about here. I was thinking about like as a show, it went by pretty quickly. Sitting those 3 hours, it's always a thing. I'm like in the building, it's probably pretty long though, because like the way that they structure their shows are very interesting at points. But yeah, like I said, I watched the shows this week and I thought that they the energy surrounding it was really good. I thought the segments flowed really well. It wasn't anything that overstayed its welcome.
Yeah, I thought that they paid off a lot of stuff from the actual pay-per-view well. I thought
it was better than the pay-per-view. What are y'all why didn't y'all do this for the pay-per-view? I'm confused, Phil.
They did exactly what I knew they were going to do with the Punk segment, and that's why I kind of was not a big fan of the matches, because it just felt like, okay, this is part one, and you getting to the actual second match, which will probably be the better match.
Right.
Because I thought the Punk promo on Raw was good. I thought the stuff with him and Seth was great. Seth coming out with his cowboy get up on, very, very funny. And as I pointed out when we talked about it on the post show, you could see him fuming after the match was over. Like, all right, he slid out that ring and immediately took his ref shirt off. I was like, oh yeah, next time he sees Punk, it's up. You can see it in those moments. The way he walked off, the way he ripped that shirt off immediately, I was like, nah. Next time he sees Punk, it's up. And sure enough, he came out, cut that promo, started taking this shirt off before the promo was even over. I was like, oh yeah, it's up. But we're still doing the bracelet stuff with Drew, which, I mean, it's fine. But
they got to continue this story some way, you know?
Yeah, but right after that, we got a star-making moment for Bronson. I thought that made Bronson look tremendous. I thought that was a great way to write stuff off TV, because you're not going to do the Rollins-Punk match right away. You want to kick that one down the road as far as you can. You probably want to use that for Royal Rumble or possibly WrestleMania if you can. And it seems like he's not healthy as well. So, yeah, by all means, give him the time off, let him rest up and come back 100%. You got a ready-made feud with the Punk stuff that people want to see. So I see no reason why he needs to be on TV every week.
Totally. Yeah, no, 100% a star-making moment here, Phil, for Bronson. The thing that I liked about this a lot is they've been kind of planting seeds with Bronson for a couple months now. Like, he's done this bit on Raw where he'll interrupt a backstage segment and be like, it should be me. Like, why aren't you guys giving me these opportunities? Pretty much like everybody else is getting these opportunities. I'm the baddest fool here. I'll fuck somebody up if given the chance. And so they've been planting these seeds. And so I think that's why this hit even harder, because the fans been like, okay, we know that this guy is frustrated. He's been going a lot. How do you really make a name for yourself? Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is here. He's bait. And I love the way that they kind of do it, having him hitting the 5 tsunamis on him. I don't know why they didn't just pull Seth Rollins out after the first one, but, you know.
That's what I was thinking the whole time.
Like, why are they keeping him in there, dude?
After he hit the second one and all those people were like, get out of here, Bronson, get out of here. I was like, you guys could just pull Seth out the ring.
Pull him out.
Why y'all just letting him lay there?
Just pull him out, man. All you have to do is pull him out. No more splashes, but they're just like everybody surrounding them so Bronson can do it. But yeah, great star-making moment. Bronson has needed this. And when Seth does come back, he has the Punk feud, and then he has this Bronson feud off the tops of it. And so, yeah, we got later this week, Phil, some news that Rollins is legit hurt out here.
Yeah, I thought it was very odd that he came back so soon. When he came back before Money in the Bank, I was like, you guys sure? Yeah, you guys were acting like these injuries were pretty serious coming into WrestleMania. He almost missed WrestleMania. And then he was back immediately. I was like, it
wasn't a long time. It was like 2 months or something. I was like, that's not enough time for what he had going on.
Yeah, so hopefully he takes some time off and really take some time off. Don't just be gone for 2 or 3 months. Really,
I want to know what happened here. Why was it like, okay, we need this? I don't think they really needed that Damian Priest match that bad, did they? Like, it didn't. Like, I don't think that furthered Damian's thing with just that one little match.
They kind of did, because there wasn't really
anybody.
There wasn't really anybody else. And at that time, they had lost a lot of star power because Becky was gone because her contract was up. Then Rhea got injured. That's already 2 of the biggest stars on the brand.
Yeah.
You don't have all of Damage Control anymore because Bayley's on SmackDown. They got hit really hard with injuries right after WrestleMania. So
I guess I'm just on some. We should have other contenders. They shouldn't have had to call Rollins. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But
that's another story for another day.
I just don't think that they've built up anybody else where it would have meant as much for Priest to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of part of the problem.
That's the problem.
But hopefully this means that he can take some time off now that Rhea's back and you've got other things going. Got the Wyatt stuff happening.
Roman's back.
Roman is also back.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's a good sign he can actually take some time off, because that definitely is what I immediately thought after he came back. I said, oh yeah, somebody asked him to do a solid. Oh man, you can't come back? You sure you can't come back a little bit sooner?
Hey, just one little match, man. It won't be that bad. You'll walk through it. And then he has this hard ass match with Damian Priest too. Shout out to Rollins though. He needs to get some real rest. Motherfucker been working hard as hell.
Yeah, hopefully he really takes some time off. I thought the Damian Priest stuff was good as well. Man,
he's getting he's more over off of everything that's happened.
That pop for him when he initially came out and he cut his promo early in the night before his match. That crowd really likes him. This guy's really popular, and that showed that his title run really ended up helping him and helped elevate him as a character. And then the documentary, I think, helped as well. I've heard good things about it. I haven't seen it in full, but I think that helped him out. But man, when him and Rhea were clearing the ring,
whoa. I knew people like these people, Rhea and Damian as a duo, but I didn't know they liked them like this. When they started cleaning house, when Damian hit that gigantic choke slam on JD, and like the energy was off the charts. It's funny about that documentary, Phil, because I've seen a lot of people legit being like, put the belt back on him. Like, that's how much that documentary did a lot. I'm like, yeah, people have turned the corner all the way just off one documentary.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, I already knew that Rhea was super over.
She's out of here.
But yeah, just seeing from SummerSlam and the Raw afterwards, they've done a good job progressing Damian as well.
That's kind of crazy because I was nervous coming off when he won the championship at WrestleMania. And then there was a few moments that I was like, I don't know, Damian Priest, his run is not doing what I thought it would do. And I thought they had him talking. All of his promos weren't like, I'm the world champion. It's like he wasn't confident in being the world champion is what it felt like for me. And so the last 2 or 3 months, though, he's really started to develop. I think he's had that Gunther match was fire, and he's had a bunch of opportunities to like show that he could do it. He's had a couple of missteps. That rolling Gunther to the ropes thing was not that great. The thing in the Rollins match wasn't that great either. So there was a couple of missteps, but Monday showed that it was all worth it.
Yeah. This is definitely seems like it's the most popular he's ever been.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I thought the Gunther segment was good as well. Gunther out there trash talking people will never not be funny to me because he's so matter-of-factly with everything, and it just makes it even better. His homie has moved on to SmackDown, and apparently he's doing a Pitbull gimmick now. I don't know what's going on.
Yo, I watched that whole video, and I was like, who is
Mr. 305? This was
he pulled up in Vegas. I'm like, wait, Pitbull got a Vegas residency now, and they're promoting it on WWE. He's doing a Pitbull gimmick is hella funny.
Yeah, but man, yo, Giovanni is such a good wrestler, man.
He's incredible. He's really fucking good.
I want them to figure out something for him, man, because he's so good. When he was just Fabian Eichner and he was on NXT in 305. 205, sorry, 305 in my head now. 205 Live.
I didn't even connect that. That's
when he was on 205 Live in NXT, man, he was
now
incredible.
He's Mr. 305. That's his new gimmick. But yeah, I was just recently watching the Cruiserweight Classic, and brother, incredible guy. That double jump moonsault thing that he does, like he could go. Man, I'm actually kind of upset that they broke him in what's the homie's name?
Ludwig.
Yeah, Ludwig up. But it seems like they got a little bit of controversy or something's going on there.
There were some rumors going around on Twitter that I'm not sure are true or not. But it seemed like something was going on where those two guys were not getting along. So unfortunate because they were a good tag team.
Dude, they were sick. The Imperium tag team was like, I was like, they could be, the future of the tag division. They had some like very hard hitting, banging ass matches, and when they broke them up, I was like, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, they were a great tag team on NXT for a little bit of time. They were there as well, but it seems like something happened there where they were not getting along. So I don't know the whole truth of that, so I don't want to get into it.
So, not a girl is mine situation, maybe. Mike and Paul McCartney. The girl is mine.
I don't know, man. I saw certain things said on Twitter, but you got to take these things with a grain of salt.
Listen, people be talking.
So I don't know. I saw the word on Twitter, and it may not be that at all. I don't know.
And the way that you're talking, we saw the same thing because I'm like, I saw that too.
Yeah. I don't know.
And it's not wrestling related.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be someone with a platform that runs with that, because I don't know that that's true.
No, nothing at all, man. But I know he was in Imperium, and now he's Mr. 305 on SmackDown. That's all I know.
Yeah. He did the Vinny Vetti Vici at the end of the show. I said, bro, you're mixing up your rapper gimmicks. That was Ja Rule's album.
That's Ja Rule thing. Yeah, nah, that's you mixing it up. That's Rule baby. But no, he could go, and I think that this is like his third or fourth gimmick change, and so hopefully one of these works for him.
He's so good, man.
He's really good.
When you look at some of the matches on SmackDown, I'm like, yeah, he could cook with some of those guys.
Oh yeah. Actually, honestly, SmackDown's a really great place for him because like that U.S. title scene, like he fits in like a glove right there.
Yeah, they just got to find the right direction with him.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping that it works out. Very much hoping that it works.
He just comes out, Dale. That's the way to do it, I think.
Dale. Italian, very Italian, and he comes out and yells, Dale. Berto would be looking around like, bro, what's going on?
What is this?
Which, by the way, when did they shorten his name and just make him Berto? Because I was
news to me. I'm like, who the fuck is Berto?
I was reading something and I said, Berto. Oh, Umberto.
Yeah, no, it's Berto.
Okay.
It's Berto.
He couldn't just have a full. All right. Oh, cool. All right.
Phil, what the fuck is Berto?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
That's like his nickname his cousins call him, but like that's not the name that you have as a wrestler.
It feels like somebody was backstage and they were like, "Yo, Berto over here," and they were
exactly
like, "Hey, man,
that might be it."
Something. Wait a minute, nah, bro.
Can it just be Berto? Berto. That sounds hilarious. Also, another incredible talent. So it's like, I guess it doesn't really matter.
He's fantastic, man. I wish that they would really take them serious as a tag team, because
too.
both of those guys are great.
So good.
Shucky Ducky is saying Berto is typically shortening up a name from Mexican Spanish.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know his cousins call him that, but like as a wrestler's name, it's not really.
Yeah, he
call him his full name.
Apparently, he's also saying it's pronounced Berto.
Berto. Okay, got you.
Yeah, I just saw that and I was very confused. I was like,
Berto.
Why they change it? How they change this, man? He couldn't just be Humberto. It's cool.
I like Berto though. His name's Berto. That's my nickname for him. Like if he was my Mexican homeboy, that's what I would call him. So that makes
Berto.
sense.
That's definitely up there with your homie. This Jeremy. He's Jeremy.
Jeremy. That's my cousin's Jeremy. I call him Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Germs. So I call my cousin Germs because it's his name, Jeremy.
Bro.
Jeremy.
Yeah, we ended the night with the in-ring debut of the Wyatt Sicks. I was very tentative about this because we know how this goes usually with the Wyatt stuff. Usually,
so like the spooky stuff leaves, then the bell rings.
Yeah, but they've been doing a really good job of building up. I think the VHSs they've been doing for each character and giving them like their individual spotlights, I think they've worked. So far, so good. I'm interested in them as a stable. But
how do you feel about Dexter Loomis's hair?
This was a very risky revamp with him because he went completely left from where he was.
He did.
But I think it works. I think it's fine for now because, of course, it's a nod to Bray, and I think with that in mind, I'm fine with it. I think it was smart of them to go this route and do the kind of trios match straight away with them.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think it's going to continue do you think they'll continue as a trios? Because I like it.
I think they're at the very least going to use them as a tag team. Probably have like a revolving tag team with those three guys. That makes the most sense to me.
That they'll push Bo as a singles?
I'm not sure because while I think Bo has gotten more recognition as a worker than Bray did because he was on NXT, he was NXT.
He was working a lot more than Bray was.
I do think his matches will probably be slightly better. I'm not sure where they're going with the whole thing. I thought this was the best usage of them, putting them against Gable and the Creeds. I thought the match was good, but you had all of the guys that
pinning Gable though. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought we got him 2 heaters to get them but what do I know?
I think it was smart though, using the guys that we know can work. I mean, Gacy for all the stuff I didn't really care for on NXT, he can work. And the same thing with Rowan. Rowan's a worker. We know that. We know that from the first iterations of the Wyatt family that he's going to come out and he's still very good. I think adding Loomis with them, it works. I think the 3 of them worked a very strong match with the Creeds and Gable. I question the decision to do this match, like you said, and then have Gable lose. But this is where we're at.
Is it? Why?
This is where we're at. I feel like they're just trying to do this to build those 3 guys back up. I hope that this isn't what I think. They've now changed the name to American Made. They're no longer Alpha Academy. Gable told Otis and the others they can keep that name. We're moving on. But I thought it was a good way to end the night. When they came out to Shatter, I definitely got emotional because I was like, man, this sucks that Bray's not here anymore. And I didn't think we would see any of his ideas being used. And I think the execution so far has been incredible.
It's all pretty bittersweet because you know that like it's all fun stuff. Like it's all stuff that like he would be inspired by. Like it's all Wyatt stuff, but it's like, damn, it's sad that he's not here to be a part or see it,
Yeah, but it definitely made me feel good that they got a good match out of it, that they got such a prominent spot on the card.
That was important, the match, and I think they executed.
Yeah, I think they executed everything well. I think the match was good. I think the use of those characters was good. But so far, so good. Long live Bray Wyatt.
Shout
hate
out to
that these are the situation we are, but also shout out to Bo being able to do all this stuff and come back from such a tragic loss and contribute in a good way. I think that's dope as well.
His legacy's living on. I think that's the 100% the best part about all this. And I'm super happy that they executed on the match because that could have messed up a lot going forward. And this is going to help going forward.
Yeah, I think that the match needed to deliver. I don't think it was just instant classic or anything, but it was a very entertaining match.
It did what it needed to do, and it made me excited to see more of them as a trio. So I think they did it.
Yeah. Interested to see what Nikki does once they let Nikki wrestle as well. Because Nikki is much better than I think people give her credit for. Yeah. And this is her wheelhouse, doing all the spooky stuff, her being the one that comes out, and the fact that they use her instead of Bray at the end of all the vignettes when it does the run part, and she's such a big visual part of the group. It feels like what she did with Sanity in all of the right ways. So yeah, I'm also happy that she found something that feels like it works specifically for her, because you could tell for a minute they were trying to find things and trying to throw things at the wall to see what worked, and it just wasn't really hitting. Like the superhero thing, wasn't it?
Nah, that Nikki Ash or whatever stuff, that was pretty bad. But she's another one that like she's such a good worker that she made a lot of it work when the matches happened. But like there was the character stuff that she wasn't super 100% in, and it feels like this she's like 100% in character and locked in, and the matches are gonna make it even better. So I'm excited to see about all that.
Yeah. I think they got something cool here. Now I hope that they don't do what they always do, and when something gets popular, then they go, okay, well we got to push them hard. We got to put the championships.
Nah,
you don't have to do all of that. Just use them as a nice side act with everything else, and develop them gradually. You don't have to rush. And
do you think that was it for them and Gable, or are they going to continue on with Gable? Is Gable out of this? Are we moving on to something else?
I hope so. I hope that now that they've beat them in a match, that Gable and the Creeds
This is
can
it.
move on to something else. Because I of course want to see the Creeds in the tag team division. I want to see Gable move on and eventually become a part of IC title picture again, because that's what we were hoping this heel turn was leading to. So I hope that this doesn't just go by the wayside and he just goes back to losing every week.
Because he was in a great position. We talked about it a little bit on Ask Grapsody about your articles and stuff that you put out about where he kind of lands, and his trajectory at the beginning of the year feels way different than where he is now. Like, I totally understand, like you said, why they use them in this position against the Wyatts, because like they're great wrestlers, they're great bumpers, like they work in this position, but like he was on his way to something, and I don't know if this derailed that.
Yeah, I think they kind of missed a chance to do something big with him, but you know, maybe they'll get back to it. It doesn't seem like they're going to be done with Braun as champion for some time. So
no,
I don't think it looks good unless they put him in some kind of multi-match, but we'll see.
That was my biggest issue. Is I was like, because I felt like he was gonna win the Intercontinental Championship from Gunther at one point, or even from Sammy, and he didn't do any of those. And now Braun has it, and Braun, it seems like they're very invested in Braun. They're not going to give it up in the next anytime. So I don't know.
Yeah. Send us your super chats if you want to get in comments about Wyatt's debut. We still got a bunch of Humper chats. Still got a bunch from Tony P. I appreciate you, bro. He says, hearing about Seth did make me fearful of something, that they would really try to stretch Drew Punk past Bad Blood. I also wasn't a fan of the Punk promo. Why is he happy to be in a city and not mad he screwed himself in a loss? I was confused. I took it to mean that he was grateful that things went well, because he's had a bunch of situations where it seemed like he was off to the races, and then he got hindered by an injury, or something else happened, or some backstage stuff hindered him. And I think he's finally in a place where he feels like, all right, I can work and I can start moving forward now. That's how I read it.
Yeah, it felt like I got through a match without injury. We did some angles and some stuff, and nobody got hurt. Nothing crazy happened off of it, and I made it to the next city. That's what it felt like to me. Like, I've done this exact situation, big match, big opponents, big show, and came out awful on the other end, and I came out feeling good off of this one.
Came out injured, or something else happened afterwards backstage, ended up suspended or something else, and you know,
fired.
Hey, did a big pay-per-view, and I am back to work the next week. Now, do I think that means all of this was amazing television or amazing matches? No, but I understand his point of view. I also,
it could be like he was like, I need to just get through one to get to the next one, and like I got through one.
Did you see the video of him, the camera following him backstage, and he went in that room and he put his head on the mat because he was worried? Which it looked very staged, but there's a clip on
it's from SummerSlam.
Yeah, of him walking backstage after the match and him putting his head on the mat and being relieved that everything went well. So
staged.
It did kind of look staged. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because it's WWE. They overproduce everything.
They do. All right, now we're gonna have a moment backstage where you walk and you're relieved, and we'll film it.
Yeah. You know what it is. We're gonna get a big Punk documentary or 24 from them eventually, and they've cooked up a bunch of stuff that they probably have footage for.
I'm sure they were working on it for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm glad that he came out of this well. Wasn't the biggest fan of the match, but glad that he is still in high spirits. I'm sure he's still looking around like, I'm not supposed to be here, guys. I'm not supposed to be in this company. Based on the way things went over there, I could be easily not wrestling no more.
It's still kind of surreal when SummerSlam when Drew made his entrance at SummerSlam as Drew and Seth in the ring, and then Punk's music hits. It still was like, I felt like that, like, this is not supposed to be happening. Like, there are so many things that should prevented this from happening at this moment. Like, he should be not in a big match at SummerSlam, but here he is.
You talked about not supposed to be happening. first of all, seeing him come out at SummerSlam in Cleveland, and it's his entrance with the whole nine with cult of personality and everything.
Right.
It just feels weird. But then when I saw that clip and he's coming down and you can see Stephanie front row clapping and standing up, I was like, "What world are we in, bro? Like, what's happening right now?"
Personality is blaring at SummerSlam. CM Punk's walking down, and Stephanie McMahon is clapping it up for him. What
standing
is
ovation
going
for
on
Punk, and
right
then you get that picture later of them hugging. I was like, "What? This is like Bizarro World."
This is Bizarro World. Like that. We talked in extensive length about CM Punk, WWE, that Colt Cabana podcast, like everything surrounding it, AEW, all of this. Like, this is not supposed to happen, and it's all happening, and it just feels so surreal still. Like, just hearing Cult of Personality is like, what?
Dude, people think I'm bugging because I just told a friend this, but the first time when we're past all of this bloodline stuff effectively, when Roman is standing in that ring and Cult of Personality hits, that's gonna be insane. Like, their eventual feud with everything based on it, make Roman strong, the needle mover stuff, everything. When they finally get to that, that's going to be very, very strange television.
Roman's going to go find that needle mover shirt to wear. It's going to be...
He's going to get all of these jabs and things out on him that he's been wanting to say for 10 years. Like,
my God.
That's going to be crazy.
And it's crazy because there's still a bunch of those, like, with Punk to do. Like, there's still Kevin Owens stuff to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's still all these. Like, we haven't gotten into anything yet.
Yeah, we haven't scratched the surface because he got injured. But yeah, you got all the Heyman stuff you could do with
Heyman
and Roman. Like,
let's hope he makes it. No injuries, because shit,
yeah,
it's hard out here. When do you think he's gonna work his next match?
I don't know. I hope that they don't make.
They're not gonna have him at Bash.
No, I hope they don't make this a thing where he just wrestles at pay-per-views. So that could get old.
I'm thinking that's what it's gonna be. That's kind of why I was asking that question. That's where I was leading to.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, if you want to, just for like saving and the future, like, yeah, probably not. It'll be okay if you don't work a Raw match.
Right. See, more from Tony P. He says, by the way, the fact that Randy came out to shows that Raw still has an issue with babyface department when it comes to challengers for the World Heavyweight Championship. Priest is a full face now, but it was still an issue when he was world champion. They still in the same boat, especially if Seth got chronic issues. Yeah, and this was my thing with why Seth probably had to come back, because there was really nobody else.
They still don't have anybody.
Yeah,
like they had to call somebody else from another brand.
And at least they have a story with Gunther and Randy that makes sense from King and Queen of the Ring. So I didn't have a huge problem with it, but it does show that they do need to start building up more guys for the Raw main event team.
Who, like me thinking about it, I'm like, who is it? Who's even in contention?
I think eventually Sammy.
Feels like they might move him over.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
It's bad out there. SmackDown kind of got some locked up when it comes to like men's singles guys.
Yeah. He just lost two guys that are ready made that could have been main eventers. Yeah.
Oh, I guess they got like Sheamus.
They got some options, man.
They got a couple of options.
They just gotta build those guys up and give them the TV time. That's
Bronson,
why I said Sammy
Bronson's now gonna be up there. Like they got a couple of options.
Yeah, they got options. You got Dragunov on Raw now. That's why I'm like, there are guys there that just got to build them up. Mm-hmm. More from Tony P says, this has me now curious about who are the challengers now to beat Gunther and Cody, and what roles Rock, Roman, and Cena play on the road to WrestleMania. Because depending on who wins the Rumble/Elimination Chamber, Punk won't get this WrestleMania Night 1 main event with Seth, especially if a different story gets hot. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We're thinking it's gonna be Punk and Seth at WrestleMania?
Maybe. But you possibly are getting a Cena match this year. I don't know. I don't know if we're getting a Rock match again. Because if we
It's
go,
about to get muddied up there if everybody's pulling up.
yeah, because I have to assume Rock isn't done. Rock is coming back to do something, whether it be the Cody match or finally doing the Roman match.
I'd figure we get at least one more match with one of those two matches. With what they built this year, like I can't see him not pulling up. But if he's there, Rock's there, Cena's there, like what's Cena gonna do?
I don't know.
Win the Royal Rumble?
Oh my God!
Are you mad if Cena wins the Royal Rumble?
If he wins the Royal Rumble, I'm not.
He's
gonna like
odds-on favorites. It sucks.
Is he
shouldn't.
already?
I mean, why wouldn't he be?
I do not want to see that.
I don't want to see it at all. I know Sean Ross Sapp had tweeted that he was already for like the picks, betting picks, that he was already slated to be top 4 or the final
Top
4.
4?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, because like look at the story they're trying to tell. People are thinking he's gonna beat the record and all this, winning the Royal Rumble's the way. Yeah, it sucks. It stinks. I hate it.
I don't want that.
But like think of what we're talking about right now. Who are the male guys that can win? Drew's already won. I don't think you want Seth to win. You know what I mean? Like
you could tell some stories, but I don't think Cena needs to come back and win. In his last year, you want him to win a Rumble? No,
stinky.
I'm good. We got some more Humper Chats, and we're going to get into some more news. But before that, I'm going to hit you with a word from our sponsor.
BetOnline.ag is the official betting partner of Fightful. 100% of the time when you get the odds from Fightful, they are coming from BetOnline.ag. And it's not just wrestling, it's not just MMA and boxing. It's football, it's basketball, baseball, hockey. They have the earliest lines. You can bet big with the high limits and rebet functionality. They have the fastest payouts with winnings paid in minutes and the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit. They've been trusted for 25 plus years. It's not some fly-by-night company. BetOnline AG has been there. They've done that. In addition, they're trusted by millions. They've got VIP rewards programs and a ton of popular games. BetOnline.ag, that's where I go to make my bets. That's where I suggest you go to, my friends. Please just bet what you can and bet responsibly.
As always, please bet responsibly. But for your sports betting needs, including pro wrestling, BetOnline.ag is the place to go.
Bet online, boy. You still be betting, Phil? Oh, it's not basketball season, huh?
Every now and then. I try not to get too sucked in.
You was in deep for a minute there.
Oh no, that was a minute where I was betting almost every day. That's why I'm like, you can't get too sucked in.
Phil was getting his shit off. That's hella funny.
See more Humper Chats from Tony P.
Mm-hmm.
He says, so I have 2 controversial takes. Buckle up, I guess. On the Lucha Bros and Motor City Machine Guns going to WWE. It may be a good thing for AEW's tag team division that now has an opening for the new and young star tag teams, especially with the Bucks and FTR at the tail end of their careers. Yeah, that's just a good segue. Because the big news story this week is that the Lucha Bros may be heading out of AEW. I believe that homie Ibu from Wrestle Purist is the first person that broke the news, and then it was everywhere. I've seen Meltzer chime in and give what he's heard about it. There's a Fightful Select report about it as well. But it seems like they might be rounding out their time with AEW. Meltzer said something very interesting this morning where he was saying it sounds like Penta was ready to move on.
Yep.
And Phoenix wants to be loyal to Penta, so they're probably going to move on. And then also some of the word that people have been hearing internally is that they've been in negotiations, at least with WWE. And we got the report this week that Phoenix has finished up some of his indie bookings. He's no longer taking certain bookings, and that's usually the immediate sign you get when somebody's heading over there. So might be some smoke to the fire.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Listen, I heard kind of the same thing some months ago of like when these talks kind of started of like Penta, it's all on Penta pretty much. Like Phoenix is kind of along for a ride. He'll stay, he'll go. If Penta wants to go, he's probably gonna go too because that's his bro. And so when this talks started again recently this week, I was like, writing kind of seems on the wall. What recently was what's been going on kind of on TV and how they've been presented and how they've been booked. They're probably gonna go over to WWE. Now, it's unfortunate, I think, because the tag division over there isn't the greatest. I think they have flashes of brilliance. I think that on a weekly basis, they have a lot of great stuff, but it's not a good sign when they can't get a match on the big shows. It's not a good sign when they make makeshift tag teams. A lot of stuff doesn't make me very excited about two incredible tag teams like these going over there. But I think in both of these cases with Lucha Bros and Motor City Machine Guns, they're such dynamic wrestlers that it's going to work out. Like Penta over there is still presented as a big star, still going to come off of as a big star. You make Penta mask over there in WWE, Lucha Bros merch, like they're out of here.
Zero Metal hands and all the rest of that stuff. They're ready made. And that was kind of one of my disappointments with AEW, that I don't feel like they capitalized on the merchandising stuff that they could have with Lucha Bros.
They didn't.
And I think that they could have pushed them better as well, whether as a tag team or a singles wrestler. When you saw some of the stuff that Penta was doing outside of the company, like that image of him holding up the mask, bloodied and everything, I'm like, man, why doesn't this guy look nearly as cool over here as he does over there?
Or even like when he would do stuff with like George Kittle and the 49ers and he'd look so badass. It's like, wait, why is it? What's going on? You know?
Yeah. But it is strange just to see, again, this is just where we are with where AEW is currently and where WWE is. WWE is the hot product. Yep. They're the cool company right now at the moment. And I mean, free agency is what it is. People are going to jump from both companies, but now that you're in this landscape where you're seeing more and more people possibly making a jump to AEW, it's crazy to see somebody like the Lucha Bros that were a day one tag team. They were in a lot of the initial programs with the Young Bucks. That was a lot of the foundation of building this company, and they're potentially not going to be there anymore. That just sounds insane. But I'm kind of with Tony that I think this is kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
I would prefer them to stay, of course. I don't like the idea of them potentially being over there, and because you went from main eventing a pay-per-view as a tag team. You're not gonna do that over there.
No way, 0%. You're gonna be on WWE Tag Team Speed. It's happening. I'm sorry, you guys. WWE Tag Team Speed is happening.
Tag Team
and the Motor City Machine Guns and the Lucha Bros will probably be the first match.
Tag Team Speed sounds absolutely awful. But I mean, so I have my pros and cons with it, but I do think that this is potentially good for AEW as a company because the roster is getting more and more crowded. And I think the Lucha Bros had their run. And you can start building up some of the younger tag teams that have kind of fell to the wayside. This is the moment where I think you should fully invest in Private Party. I think if you're picking the next up tag team that's also had feuds with the Young Bucks and it feels like it's time to start putting them into bigger matches, giving them feuds, giving them a push, I think it's time. Top Flight's another one.
I was going to say, you got two tag teams, both of those tag teams.
Push Top Flight. And even if this is your chance to go, all right, let's sign another tag team. We were just talking about it on Ask Grapsody. Grizzled Young Veterans are right there, man. Sign Grizzled Young Veterans, man. I don't think people should be looking at this like, all right, they missed out on Motor City Machine Guns and they missed out on Lucha Bros, so now it's all over. No, there's still a wealth of talent in your company and there are still teams you can't sign. I think, if anything, this should be the kick in the butt of the company to show you, all right, well, we need to go back to what this company was good at. this company used to be the place for great tag team wrestling, and it doesn't feel like that anymore. So change that.
Yeah, the foundation of this company was built off of tag team wrestling, built off the Young Bucks, built off what they created coming into this. Yeah, as I don't want the Lucha Bros to leave. I would rather prefer them stay with AEW. Phoenix has been my favorite luchador for the last probably 5 years. Like, I just love everything about the way he is and the way he's presented. But yeah, this isn't the worst thing that could ever happen to AEW. They have so many talented tag teams already in the company. They don't even have to invest in anybody out of the company, and they could have an incredible tag division just off of the guys that they already have. What I was saying on Ask Grapsody, give FTR these tag team championships at Wembley. Let them move forward. Let them wrestle all these tag teams. Let them wrestle Mason Mansoor. Let them wrestle Top Flight. Let them wrestle Private Party. Let them wrestle some other these other luchadors, Hologram, and all these guys. Like, this isn't the end of the world, and AEW could potentially benefit off of maybe getting a kick in the butt.
Yeah, some people are not going to like the sound of put the title back on FTR, but I wouldn't be mad at it. FTR I thought they were great champions, and if nothing else, they're going to have good matches.
They're going to build add legacy to those tag team championships. I can't believe I want the Young Bucks to get the belts to FTR. That's where we've landed at this point. FTR are so about those tag team championships, and they protect them. And even if they're on some wild shit sometimes, it's still all about building this tag division. And like, I don't want to say the Young Bucks aren't doing that, but they have their interest in other places.
Yeah, we both were excited for this tag run with the Elite, and this has been a bust for me. It's not that I don't still have hope that the EVPs can have the good matches and stuff, but
that's not it.
It's just they're not on TV.
They're not having them.
They're not defending the belts. I just don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on with this title reign, but it's just a big bust for me.
And you saw this clip of Brian Alvarez talking about this. He's like, "Oh, it's not the Young Bucks' fault. It's Tony Khan's fault. Whatever the contract that he was saying that the Young Bucks aren't on TV. It's not their fault. It's Tony Khan's fault because of the amount of dates he signed them. He screwed up or something." And this explanation, I didn't really like it. Like, they're saying like the way that their contract is structured, like it's a number of dates, like they're not showing up on TV because they've already exceeded their dates. I don't know if that's any truth. Brian Alvarez is saying that, but if that's the reason, that sucks.
That sounds not good. If that's the reason, then that would make some sense, but I don't know how much truth to that there is. But
I don't know.
It is weird that like right now, currently, you've got this big build going into
Wembley.
What's become your biggest show of the year, and it doesn't feel like they have anything going. It doesn't feel like there's much interest in them booking.
They weren't on the show this week.
They weren't on the show this week. And then with all the stuff you started with the Elite, with them coming back and building them up as a heel stable, it just feels like since Blood and Guts, there's been nothing. I don't really understand it. So I don't know. I really hope that they pull this together, but at this point, I would be mad at taking the titles off of them and doing something else.
I'm saying get them back to FTR. Let FTR start doing that Collision Saturday 40-minute match with all these incredible tag teams, and we're out of here.
They were cooking. That first year Collision with them, they were carrying that brand.
Come on, that Juice and Jay White match is one of the best matches, tag matches in AEW history. Like, let them do that. That's how you establish these championships, not having them on the Young Bucks because it looks good on them. Like, Young Bucks are my favorite tag team of all time, and I'm saying get them off of those guys if that's what we're going to do with them.
Yeah, I hope it's not they're heels, so they don't wrestle as much on TV thing. It's like, I don't really want to see the Bucks doing that. The appeal of having the Bucks as champion is seeing the matches.
And what they do as heels in the matches. That's part of the great part of this too. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. Yeah. I get really frustrating talking about the tag team division because, like you said, we were excited about this, and I'm like, oh, it's the Young Bucks. We're gonna cook, and they haven't even had a match.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on. Even with Okada, when he first came over, he was defending the belt and he was having the big matches. Now it's like, what's going on?
Now it's nothing.
Like they don't have a 1-on-1 match in the card for him. It seems like at All In, which I think is a mistake.
I think maybe they could be building this Claudio match.
Maybe it's the Claudio match. Maybe it's Hangman. But the fact that it's now, 2 weeks away? And
It's too close for us to be speculating.
We don't know. I think that's...
we should not be speculating on what Okada match is happening. We should be like, Okada versus blah, blah is happening.
Yeah, and I know they probably put their eggs in the basket hoping that they were going to get the Omega match. We did get an update this week, and it sounds like he might be back sooner than later.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I just don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing with the Elite as a group.
It felt like we were going good for a while. Remember they started they had the interactions with Mercedes. I was like, okay, we're cooking here, but there still wasn't any matches happening though.
Yeah. But yeah, free agency is what it is. We got another rumor about Ricky Starks. It feels like we get a Ricky Starks rumor almost every month. And the word is when his contract's up, he's going to head to WWE. Now, I don't think that is a wild thing to speculate at this point.
Nope.
But I don't think his contract's up anytime soon. So I don't know why we're already talking about that.
That's my whole thing. Like reading all this news this week, I'm like, I think we're being a little bit premature. Like probably when his contract's over, but I don't think it's over for at least at minimum the rest of the year.
Yeah, I don't think his contract's up until next year. So I don't.
What is this?
If this was a Ricochet situation, right, where his contract was up next month or in a few months, then maybe. But it doesn't seem like that's the case from everything I've read. It seems like his contract's up next year.
Hey, in 6 months, what's Ricky Starks going to do? Why are we talking about 6 months? Like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean? But then that kind of turned into the booking of Ricky Starks and the story of Ricky Starks and AEW. Yeah. It's a complicated one, ain't it, Phil?
It is, because I do think they've put him in good opportunities, but I do feel like sometimes they did odd things. Like even in the Max feud, for example, you made the decision to make the Dynamite Diamond Ring finals and the AEW World Championship the same match instead of giving him the chance to actually win the Diamond Ring and then giving him the world title match down the road. So then when he lost that match, he gained nothing. Yeah, which was it was a very odd decision for me. And I think he got something at least out of winning the Owen Hart Cup and having a feud with Punk, and then later the match with Bryan at All Out, which is still probably his best match with the company.
Yep.
But still, it feels like they could have done more after that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that he's booked poorly or that he's underutilized, but there's just been questionable things here and there where I'm just like, well, why'd they do that?
Yeah, it seems like he's landed in some unfortunate situations, maybe. But I don't know if I can blame it on the booking, though. I think he's been booked in some good spots. And some things have happened beyond that to affect what happens on TV. So
yeah, I mean,
can't really get into all that.
Of course, people are gonna pick up some of the social media stuff. He's been doing some interesting things here and there. Social media, their sound bites from the interviews, and that's why he's Cody's friend, Phil. Yeah, and he's been seen over there at WWE shows. That clip of him at WrestleMania is still funny every time I see it.
So funny. It kills me.
But man, so that's why I wouldn't find it hard to believe at all that he is going to leave when the contract is up. But just everything currently, like him not being there that week where he was supposedly injured, and then he got on Twitter and was like, nope, not injured. Like, oh, well, are you? Like,
that you was
sure? Yeah, so there is a bunch of mystery around this and a bunch of stuff that I don't understand. But it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't think so.
And maybe I'm mistaken, but of course he's been tossed around in the free agency. Bobby Lashley update this week as well. He's been tossed around in free agency. Seems like his contract is up. Let me just double check, because
I think it might be up officially as we broadcast this.
Yeah, because there is a report via Fightful Select.
I think Bobby Lashley, our homeboy, is a free agent.
Bobby. Yeah, here we go. From Bobby Lashley's contract update. Says an update here. Recently, his contract would be up soon. Her business partner, MVP's contract has already expired. Lashley isn't far off based on the industry sources. Lashley's deal will be up this weekend. So it is going to be up.
On Monday, Bobby Lashley's a free agent.
Yes. So That's very interesting. In the same report, Sean says that there was still some interest in potentially wrestling in Japan. He hasn't really got a chance to do that yet. There were already reports about him possibly going to AEW. It's interesting. If nothing
Did you
else,
see Bobby had a little soundbite? He was on he did an interview. They asked him who did he prefer, Vince McMahon or Triple H, and Bobby Lashley said Vince McMahon knew how to book me. He knew what special abilities I had. He knew what special talent I was. He presented me in a way different way. And I don't really think Triple H knows how to do that, is what Bobby Lashley said.
yeah, he started it by saying, I don't want to say something that might get me in trouble. And
why did he say that part?
Then he proceeded to praise the way that Vince used them, and it seemed like he was just getting into that Vince saw him as a commodity. He saw him as a star. He saw him as a hard worker, and all that stuff is understandable.
I've heard other wrestlers say that.
Yes,
even after the crazy shit.
The fact that he was so short in the way that he talked about Triple H is interesting.
That's what I thought was super interesting.
I don't know what that means. I don't want to over speculate here. But it was interesting. And then based on his exit, based on the stuff that we've seen from the MVP IG posts, it's interesting. I think it's going to be more interesting when we get to see MVP and Bobby Lashley actually speaking for themselves and doing more interviews. Because I'm very curious to see what's going on. Because they were in the middle of stuff with the Street Profits. They had something going, and that just dropped out of nowhere. It doesn't seem like that was by choice. The fact that he's been off TV and his contract is just set to expire this weekend, and this is the way it's going. Yeah, there's something to that.
It's all very interesting. The timing's interesting. The way that MVP keeps putting out these little Instagram responses are all interesting. It's all like, okay, I see what's going on here. Them being a duo, I think, is implied. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I feel like they're going to maybe come as like a package deal. I'm kind of excited to see what happens on the back ends of this, because it feels like Bobby Lashley, I watched a little bit of that interview and I seen him. He seems really motivated to do something, and so that's exciting.
Yeah, I think he's still got a lot of gas left in the tank. I think he still can be an asset to a company, but it just seems like in Triple H's current version of WWE, they just couldn't find the right spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand. I understand if he just was ready to move on. I don't think it was also. I don't think it looks good that we talked about before how they haven't really pushed a black male in the main event scene for the past 2 years in a good way outside of NXT. And he was a guy that he was established. He's been a 2-time WWE champion. You could have easily put him back in there, and I don't know. I
didn't know it had been so long. When you said 2 years, I was like, damn.
Yeah, Lashley won the title at Royal Rumble 2022 in the Brock match, and then he lost it by Elimination Chamber because he was injured. That was the last black WWE champion.
Damn. And there hasn't even been anybody up there.
No contenders. There have been no challengers for Roman. Nobody.
Damn. And the timelines match up pretty well. So, interesting stuff.
Yeah, very interested to see how this stuff pans out, of course.
So are you saying that Triple H doesn't like black male wrestlers, but Shawn Michaels does?
I'm not saying anything. I just think things are interesting. Because like when we talked about it before, I do think that, there's something to it. I mean, it's not like this has been a few months of us not seeing any black male in the main event scene. This is 2 years, bro.
2 years.
And it doesn't feel like it's changed. You got Melo up there. I don't know what they're doing with Melo. Melo he's had strong matches with Andrade, but I don't feel like there's any direction with him.
Mm-mm. I think I saw a stat he's won one match since he's came to the main roster.
Really?
Yeah. He's like 1-15 or something like that.
Yikes. But yeah, I mean, it just doesn't feel like I mean, when you compare what's going on, it just doesn't feel like there's any direction for any of the male black stars that are up there. And I mean, the fact that they're losing MVP and Lashley and Ricochet at the same time, that's why I'm like, there's something to that.
And they're losing MVP, who's probably fighting for other black wrestlers, so they're losing like a big chunk of what's going on over there.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited to see where those guys show up. It still feels like we're going to see Ricochet and AEW. It still feels like we could see Lucha Bros over at WWE. Motor City
We're just
Machine
making
Gun.
some exchanges.
Which, I mean, man, that makes wrestling interesting. I think the fact that we do have parity and there are alternatives where people can go. And if this isn't working out for me, hey, I could just go somewhere else. I think that's great for the wrestlers. I think that's great for fans. I think it's exciting. Yeah, it is very, very interesting. Just how quickly things turn in these industry, because in that first year, we thought, man, this company is the tag team company. And like seeing now and seeing how Lucha Bros are not there no more. LAX didn't really get the run that they should have. Even Super Smash Bros never really turned into anything as a tag team. There's so many other tag teams, like Best Friends. There's so many other tag teams that they've had that I feel like they should have had this run, and it hasn't happened yet.
It's crazy that I'm thinking about the switch that we talked so long about how bad the women's division was and them not getting enough time. And now they are miles better than they were. And the tag division is like not great at all.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's wild how things change, because, man, at one point it looked like at least there was some progress here with WWE. They had Kofi, then they had E. Then they had Kofi, then they had Bobby, then they had E. And so they had in a short amount of time 3 black world champions. And when you look at just the difference now, even when you look at, like you said, the women's division currently with AEW, you look at the women's division currently with WWE. It's night and day in some ways.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and really getting into the timelines, I'm like, man, this is, some things are making sense, and it's kind of unfortunate because I think we're getting to such a good place with black wrestling, and we talk about all the time, and Swerve and all these things, and WWE is just not doing what they could be doing, and it's unfortunate. I mean, they're losing Ricochet and Bobby Lashley back to back is crazy.
I mean, there's I want to hope that this is just that Triple H is getting his guys in place, and eventually it'll happen, because I feel like there is a future for Obafemi, for example.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you got a guy like Ricochet, like, what's stopping you? When you got
I was gonna say, like, there's like Obafemi and Wesley, but then you just gave up Bobby Lashley and Ricochet. So what is it really?
That's what I'm saying. Because the excuse you could always make in the first 2 or 3 years with AEW is they didn't have that guy that felt like a world champion, that felt like a star. I don't feel like you could say that with WWE. You did have that.
Yep.
You had Lashley. You had a multiple time world champion.
Lashley was like a top guy, big star.
Yeah. You had somebody, even if you didn't want to say that Ricochet was a top guy, you had somebody that was unique, the best high flyer in this business, arguably.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to stamp that and say definitively he's the best high flyer, he's at least in a conversation.
Especially in WWE and the position that he's in. Nobody in matches that he's doing is flying like him. There's guys in here that can fly in NXT, but they're not in high positions like Ricochet.
No, nobody else in that company could do what Ricochet could do.
And they're just like, no, he's gone. So yeah, it's all off of like Triple H. Like the guys are saying that it's connected to Triple H, not even us saying it. Like the wrestlers are like, yeah, well, Triple H don't really fuck with me, is what it feels like.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what it is. Bookers are going to have people that are their favorites, that are their guys, but it does kind of feel like, all right, well, we were supposed to get this positive change with Vince gone, and we have got it in some ways, but in some ways we've taken steps back, and I don't really understand why.
I understand why. I remember one time, you guys, let me take you on a little journey. One time in 1998, the Generation X. It was Shawn. No, Shawn Michaels wasn't there. Triple H was dressed as The Rock. X-Pac was dressed as Mark Henry.
Mizark, not Mark. Mizark.
But honestly, though, a lot of people have told stories about this guy, and none of them are usually good. Ahmed Johnson's told stories. Like, he's told his own stories.
I mean,
in his
the
book.
Rock famously.
The Rock famously
had a story about him and HBK.
Yep. And even in this, somebody brought this up because they're talking about that blackface moment. I'll say it out loud. Triple H says in his book that he wrote or whatever that Rock said that they weren't into it. Like, no, we don't want to do this. Sucks, and they did it anyways. So there you go.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
So wait,
Triple H wrote that in his own book. The homie Rich Latta posted that.
So wait, the guys on the other side in the nation were like, "Hey, this is bad."
They went to The Rock, and The Rock was like, "Absolutely not." And Triple H did it anyways. He wrote that in his own book, the Paul Levesque book. Shout out to homie Rich Latta.
Yeah,
but history shows, and we all know WrestleMania 19, Booker T. Like, we all know, like, the connections
one of
aren't,
the worst WrestleMania feuds of all time. Just god awful. One of the worst feuds in the history of the company, in my opinion.
I still get angry about it.
Awful. Every time I see some of those promos, it just bothers me. Just horrible. Yeah, I think those kind of critiques are going to get louder if nothing changes. And I mean, it's the same thing with in some ways. I don't want to say it's the exact same thing as what we're saying with the tag team division, but I do think it's crazy that this is where we are when that company, as many wrestlers as they had, the wealth of talent there. I mean, it still blows my mind where they were headed with Keith Lee and how it just stopped abruptly.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, there, like you said, there's some hope down in NXT. There's some like, it's not over. Melo's still there. They have some things they could develop into. It's just not looking the greatest right now.
No, it's not.
That's it.
Yeah, I again very curious to see when MVP actually comes out and says things on the podcast, because I don't think he's going to sugarcoat it. I think he's going to say exactly how he feels about it.
The homie already said this week that he's going to bring his podcast back.
I think that's great.
There you go.
Lashley,
like you said, he is not going to hold his tongue at all.
Yeah, Lashley, I think he's more likely to play the game. He's not gonna. He's not gonna. He's not gonna rock the boat, So he might not say as many controversial things as MVP would.
Like, I feel like the clip that we saw and him talking about Vince, that's like as controversy as he's gonna get coming out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even that, it's still got to be more to it, because again, he was very short with the triple. He was just like, how do I answer this? So Vince.
Yeah, there's some coded language in there for sure.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting, the timing of it, and when you see other people that are leaving at the same time. Very interesting.
That's it.
But yeah, look forward to more free agency news. Look forward to
it's gonna get into this is forever now.
It's just, at this point. That's wrestling now, and I think that's a good thing.
I think so too. It's exciting. I never thought that, like, when you think of the switchovers and they're gonna trade and some people are gonna come from here, like Bobby Lashley never really popped in my brain. Like, maybe Bobby Lashley will be one of those ones. Like, this is all a fresh surprise for me, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
But also thinking about it, he left, made a huge name for himself at Impact. This isn't honestly that surprising.
No, it's wrestling.
Yeah.
You make the best out of situations and then you move on.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And so that's why I'm like, I don't think this is the end of the world with the Lucha Bros thing. I think that they got a situation with AEW where they got in front of a larger amount of fans. They're gonna parlay that into going somewhere else and, potentially having more success. And if it doesn't work out, they'll come back. And
they're awesome too. And they are Mexican luchadors, and they can also go back to Mexico and just have careers there for like the next 30 years too. So it's never over for incredible luchadors like them.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not out of the realm of possibility that WW might not get this right. They had Mystico over there and didn't get that
They
right.
did not get it right at all.
They've had other luchadors over there and didn't manage to make it work out.
Like,
so
where's Dragon Lee at? Like,
he took a picture this week, and I was like, oh, he's still around. He shot a selfie out there. Like, look, guys, I'm around.
I'm here. So it could be great. I mean, Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah. There was that, and the Mortos picture that was going around of him taking the bathroom selfie, and he put the smiley over his face, but he was very much trying to tell y'all, like, look, man, go put this bull mask on and do all this other stuff in the ring, but don't get it messed up. I am outside.
I'm under here.
I am outside.
I'm under here. Do not worry. I know you like the mask and the bullshit, but yeah, your brother's outside.
Very much keeping up with the common theme of a lot of these guys that are masked wrestlers that are also very, very good looking.
Yeah. Mexican wrestlers, it's insane. Anytime they have a mask match, they take it off, and like, you were wearing a mask for 40 years. You're like the most handsome guy I've ever seen. It's crazy. Yeah. Why are you covering your face up? But then it's also like when they go to American wrestling, they make them take the mask off. It sucks. So I don't know.
Yeah. Send us in your super chats and your humper chats. Sure, we got
a good amount of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's get into a few super chats and we'll move forward. Van Twinblay says, again, F Logan Paul for sending the bigots to her. Yeah, for Iman earlier.
Yeah. Everybody that spread misinformation about her, screw those guys.
Sucks. I hope he gets something. Just Ricardo says, them people hating on the guy who got proposed to by his medalist partner are so stupid.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was like a proposal right after they won, and the people were like, if you would have came and done that on my mom, you know how people turn great moments into their awful human beings. Yeah, shut up. Why are you saying that? Just Ricardo says, and fuck Low T Logan Paul for all the hate stirring. Yeah, he sucks. He sucks so bad. Anwar Starwin says, G1 has been fun this year. OY and Kiyomiya had an amazing match yesterday at Noah. Cody got the belt, but Roman is still the ace of WWE. Yeah, we're going to get into Roman talk here soon. It's pretty glaring. Busby, our friend Aaron Busby says, is it just me or is Roman giving off big dog energy instead of tribal chief energy? Also, it's wild that Vinnie Mac isn't here to see Roman being the biggest face of the company.
Man, I was sitting watching that segment last night, and I watched it again today, and I was just like, man, the times, boy, the times have changed, man.
The times have changed, haven't they? That's funny. And like the shout out to Busby for that. But people, the narrative, we were laughing at a tweet last night because somebody was like, oh, Roman's way bigger than John Cena. It's like, yo, we came a long way. Like Phil's saying, like it used to be Roman fought for years and years to get to this position, and people hated him, not in a good way, and he was put into some unfortunate position. He is gigantic right now, most over guy in pro wrestling by far, but like, leave Cena alone, leave Cena out of this.
Yeah, Cena was still Cena at the time. There was nobody bigger than Cena.
Come on,
in his heyday, no
John Cena. People know John Cena. Before he became a movie star actor, like I would be like, hey, do you know who John Cena is? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, from wrestling? And they'd be like, no. They just knew who he was. He was just like a popular guy. That's how popular this guy was. Not even for his wrestling when he was the number one wrestler in the world. It's crazy. But yeah, we'll get into some more Roman talk here soon. Busby also says, also, if battle rap was an Olympic sport, that would start world wars.
Oh, yeah. Somebody would take it too far. Somebody absolutely would take it too far.
Wow. We can't lose, though.
You would think so.
Who's going to win? Like, if we put the best rapper, like, you know what I mean? Who's going?
Maybe somebody.
Is Hope going? Is Nas going?
Somebody from Jamaica might fade us out of here, man. Who knows?
Is Jadakiss going? Like, who's going? Or is it like the battle rappers? Because like, is Daylight going? Nobody in the world is going to beat Daylight.
They said a Daylight or Loaded Lux over there.
Come on, who's gonna what? I mean, maybe somebody from the UK. They got a couple heavy hitters over there. Jess Ricardo also says Cowboy Bebop live action ruled. Too bad it was canceled.
I've never seen it. I've heard good things about it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's one, like, when I hear people talk about that they usually do bring up Cowboy Bebop. So Tyrone Kidd says, damn, no talks about Borderlands. LOL.
I have no plans to see that movie. I am not surprised it's not good because
when I saw Kevin Hart was in it, I was like, all right, you guys, what are we doing here?
Yeah, the batting average for video games turned to live action movies is not good.
Not good.
So I was not surprised that this was not good. I did think it was very funny that we had this sound bite from Jamie Lee Curtis a few weeks ago where they asked her about Marvel Studios and she was like, yeah, the movies are bad. And then this movie comes out and it is universally panned. And like right before this, she had came out and apologized for what she was like, I'm sorry.
Studios. I didn't mean to say all that.
I feel like somebody called her like, yo, maybe relax on that.
Hey, what's up, Jamie? Hey, Jamie Lee, what's up? What's up with you?
Maybe relax on that. She got this, and then she's got the Freaky Friday movie coming out. The
Freakier Friday, yeah.
Freakier Friday. Yeah, so I feel like somebody was like, yeah, maybe chill out.
Maybe relax on it. Freakier Friday, that's a hell of a name, though, for a movie. I'm like, that don't sound like that's a family movie. But, you know. Freakier Friday? All right. Just Ricardo also says, Sorbo's stupidity must be Herculean effort. Okay, bye.
Yeah, nah, he's definitely one of the worst on that side, man.
Stinks. Him and Rob Schneider are fighting for stinkiest stinkers of all time.
Yeah, somebody in response to his tweet, somebody said, "Hey, Kevin Sorbo is supposed to be an actor. Why don't you go get a job and prove it's right?" I'm just like, this guy ain't getting no.
Honestly, bro, what are
That's
you
why he's
doing
all this. They nobody care about your acting no more, bro.
When you're a grifter, you're a grifter. LaRon Ford says, why is AEW so bad with their lack of merch?
I think they've just got to get the right situation going with their merch. I'm surprised they haven't outsourced it yet.
It's a frustrating part because there's so many, beyond not having enough at the show, but there's so many talented people creating merch that could be helping them. But no, they honestly just need to get together at the shows because people are always complaining about at the live show they don't bring enough merch. They have like 6 shirts, and it's like, well, what about my favorite wrestler?
6 shirts.
You know, it's not really represented.
Yeah, I feel like they've just got to overhaul that department.
Mm-hmm. LaRon Ford also says AEW Tag Division needs to reset and to get younger.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Push Private Party, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's my idea. Push Private Party, and even if you don't push Private Party, push Top Flight, man. Push somebody that, like, I know that they've also had injuries. It's unfortunate that Aussie Open has gotten hindered by injuries. That's worked out in a way for Fletcher because Fletcher has been phenomenal, but. Mm-hmm. Bro, you've got other tag teams. Push these guys.
There's a lot more. There's a lot younger ones. Like it'll be fine. They just got to get serious about it. Hey, what's over there says, Red, you're being generous. More than likely, the Lucha Bros are going to be thrown into the LWO.
Oh man, I really don't want this to be bad, but I would not be surprised if it is. I'm trying very hard to not.
I mean, I saw back in the day some of my favorite luchadors of all time, Super Crazy, Psychosis, Juventud Guerrero, ride down a WWE ramp on a lawnmower. So, I mean, I've seen the worst of the worst when it comes to Mexican wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know, that's the bottom. I don't think we can't go there, right?
Yeah. Where's the bottom? Where's the bottom?
Leonard Ayers III says Max Moon supposedly caring for the Luchas, but talking them into heading to the place where tag teams go to rot is some nasty business. Yeah, Conan he's active.
Yeah, he was active this week. He was saying a lot.
A whole lot. He's talking.
He's doing a lot of talking.
He's talking.
What was his cryptic tweet that he had out there? What goes around comes around. I was like, okay, cool. Wrestling's so wild.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny. What goes around comes around. It does. He's true. He's right though. LaRon Ford also says thoughts on Mercedes' run so far and how they've used her versus Ospreay and Okada to a lesser extent. How would you use her to maximize the return on investment if you had the pencil and book the show?
I think the hierarchy in this, of course, is they've pushed Ospreay very heavily because Ospreay came in right away and was popular, but
Facts.
Mercedes is not far behind. They have pushed her very heavily. She has 2 championships at the moment. She got her own special edition episode of Dynamite. She's been on all of the advertisement and all of the promotion for the show. Immediately was in all the commercials and stuff, and she's in a big storyline. I just think sometimes people just immediately overreact to some of the segments if they don't hit. And then I think there's also this sector of the crowd where it's just like, well, she's not drawing anything. The ratings aren't getting better. So I just don't know what people want. It's like you want her to come over there and then say that her being a part of that division has helped the women's division get better. And it has.
Yep.
So
That's it.
I don't know.
The only gripe I have with it is I would like her to work or match a little bit more, but I understand why she isn't. She's being presented as a big star. She's featured on almost every Dynamite. She gets her own segment. They announced the segment like they're presenting her like she should be presented. I don't really understand people saying that stuff about Mercedes. So I'm like, yo, what beyond her being AEW Women's Champion also would make this better? You know what I mean? Like she's getting everything.
Pushed very heavily. She's treated like one of the biggest stars in the company.
Yep.
I don't know. But yeah, sometimes the segments don't really hit, but I just don't think that that's what her strength is. Her strength is the wrestling. And she was wrestling quite a bit eventually, right after she won a title. But I understand what they're doing now. They're trying to build up Camille and give Camille the matches. So it's fine. You don't really have to give her the match every week because you have a big match coming up in 2 weeks. It's fine.
Exactly.
And she's doing Capital Collision coming up. Like,
yep. That's at the end of the month too. So she's going to have 2 little matches in the span of like 5 days or something. And I'm sure this will probably continue. They'll probably get back into what she was doing before the Brit stuff, after the Brit stuff. So this is exciting. Leonard Aarons III says the Motorhead merchant doesn't care about blacks, and there's more than enough evidence staring that in the face to scream this, or just ask Montez.
Yeah, there's definitely a pattern here. Montez is another one where I just don't understand what they're doing with him. I mean,
that is also a guy I guess that could still potentially be up there, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, they teased us initially with that singles run, and it never happened.
Damn. Hey, what's over there says Swerve's comments about not being viewed as the top guy by Triple H, and that HBK was the one that helped him elevate his game speaks volumes.
Yeah, I feel like he said that more than once. That's not really new. But that's again why some of this stuff isn't all that surprising. There's kind of a pattern here, and that's why I'm like, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but also it's just some conclusions that are kind of in our face.
This is kind of the thing that I think Melo's going through right now. Because if you talk to Triple HBK about Melo, he's like, this guy's the future. He's the greatest. Like, I loved him working with him. I'm so excited about his future. And like, you see how he put him over in NXT, but it doesn't seem the same over there on the main roster. So no. Just Ricardo says MVP in Bloodsport and told to bring friends. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I think that's dope. I think that's great that we could possibly see Bobby Lashley over there in Bloodsport. That seems like that makes a ton of sense.
I think that's going to happen. Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense with what he was doing, especially with like Raw Underground and stuff. And the fact that he was an MMA fighter, I think he would fit perfectly on that brand. Definitely
feel like we're going to see a Josh Barnett versus Bobby Lashley one-on-one Bloodsport match sometime here in the future. Tim McFall says this week breaking at the Olympics greater than WWE and AEW.
The reactions to the breaking alone was fantastic.
Honestly. Yeah, Ray Gunn
and stuff was incredible.
The do-rag, like just another great moment for hip-hop. I just love it here. Just Ricardo says, never forget Kerwin White, Reg. That's the worst. Yeah, I forgot about Kerwin White. That was crazy. They turned Chavo Guerrero, Mexican. Chavo Guerrero Jr., one of the most famous wrestling families in the world, Mexican Guerreros, turned him into Kerwin White, a white caddy. That was
Kerwin White is crazy. I completely forgot about that.
That was wild. Hey, what's over there? Also says over under on MJF trying to pile drive Michael Oku in their match, and who do you think it will be? Who do you think will be in the Casino Gauntlet at All In? That match is tonight. No, the Oku and MJF match is tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. I hope that this is leading to Michael Oku being a part of the Casino Gauntlet.
Me too.
I feel like that's the best way to get him on this card. There was a lot of anticipation for him last year, and they couldn't figure out a spot for him. That kind of match lends itself for him to come in and have just like a run in or have like a special spot in there. So hopefully that's where it's leading.
Yep, that's what I kind of feel like. That's what I kind of feel like the Casino Gauntlet is here for, to kind of introduce some people. I have said this week that I think a Mr. John Moxley is going to win it all, just because of the landscape. The landscape of him not having a match announced. We haven't heard anything about him since he lost his IWG championship. I'm like, being at All In, not announcing anything, then Moxley music hits, big pop, he comes out, wins the match. Like, that just makes the most sense to me.
Winning it all, don't really care what they say. What movie is that from? Is that Mighty Ducks?
I don't know.
I think it
is. Delayed Grat says Charlotte gets a big contract. Becky Lynch, Will Ospreay, Okada, and Adam Copeland too. But everyone worried about the investment in Mercedes. What makes her money so different? Great point, Delayed Grat.
She black. She's black as a woman.
And then RT the brand shocked me with this very generous super chat. It doesn't even say anything.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Okay. Appreciate you, man. Wait a minute. That Abby is crazy. You see this guy's Abby?
I can't see the Abby though. Is it 50 Cent?
It's like the 50 Cent album cover, but it looks like it's Cody's face on it.
Oh my god. Appreciate whoever you are and whatever this is. That's awesome. That's all of our super chats.
Wait, is that Trump or is that Cody?
I can't
see. Like Cody. I can't see the top of the. Oh, it is Trump.
Well, we appreciate your $400.
Oh boy. Humper chats.
I am so thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
See, Humper chats. We got more Humper chats from Tony P. He says, not only that the work rate demand of AEW may be an issue as well, maybe Lucha Bros and Motor City Machine Guns don't want to do work rate shit for a while. Want to take it easy on their already worn bodies. This move, among other things, could also be about preservation as well. Yeah, no, I think that this is understandable. I mean, because Lucha Bros have been there for almost 5 years at this point.
Right. They've kind of done everything there is needed to do as a tag team in AEW.
If they just want to see how well they could succeed over there, I get it. I don't think it's a big deal.
And it could potentially be like that, like they're describing for both teams of like, we've fought hard. Like Motor City Machine Guns have gone for like 20 years at this point. Lucha Bros have been going hard with their style for like the last 10 years. They could all want to go and take it easy.
Yeah, I mean, but it also shows just how much the industry has changed.
Facts.
It shows just not just that WWE went through their phase where they were solely trying to focus on the NIL stuff and trying to go away from indie wrestlers, and now they're back in the business of trying to sign indie wrestlers again, Regal back over there scouting. Like, you know what it is. And AEW has absolutely changed the landscape of wrestling, not just giving wrestlers another alternative, but putting eyes on some wrestlers and showing that they could do well over there. I mean, we don't get the Cody run over there if he's not successful with AEW. No. We don't get Jade Cargill over there. We don't get a bunch of things that ended up working out. So
this Lucha Bros right here, I don't feel like the Lucha Bros would have went from Mexico to WWE. You know what I mean? Like they needed this AEW shit to establish themselves and to get where they are now.
Yeah.
AEW done a lot to change that, and it's great.
Yep. Tony P also says, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting paid more or for doing less work and put over and teaching younger talent. Now, controversial take 2. Swerve currently has had a better title reign over Priest and Cody. He says, think about it. A few months ago, after Swerve won, people were already crowning Ospreay for All In and worried about Swerve not having enough time for establish himself as a champion. He is now as an established champion, and we're okay with him losing it to Bryan. I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think that Swerve was a better champion than both of those guys.
Yep. But that's like,
I think that's a hot take on Twitter. But
yeah, I mean, it's probably a hot take with Craig, but yeah, over here, it's like, yeah, I think Swerve has been excelled into a different place off of his reign. I think all three of them have had really good reigns though. So I mean, that's the worst of it.
I mean, just seeing him do all of the stuff that are like the markers for this guy is a top star. This guy is the top of the company. I mean, getting a JR interview used to be the standard of, all right, this guy is
top guy
and a top guy in a main storyline. And so seeing him get the JR interview this week, it's like, oh yeah, the JR interview still hits the same way. And I mean, a bunch of other things he's done as champion. I mean, bro, having that Trill remix of his theme song come out with Bun B and Westside Gun on it as champion.
Yeah.
And Bun B is in the video with the belt, Westside Gun carrying the belt in the video. Like, that's not something you always get to see Black champions get to do. And I mean, always is, and we don't really ever get to see this. So, no, I think he's been a fantastic champion.
Yeah, I think that we talked about it recently about usually the second reign is the one that excels the wrestler into the next stratosphere. But I think the first reign for Swerve has done it. It's been apparent in a couple matches. I thought when he came out and Blood and Guts, I was like, the way that people react to him and how he's presented is so different than a lot of the guys even in this match. Like, he's on another level off of winning this championship. But then I'm thinking back to Monday and Damian Priest, and I'm like, shit, it might have worked for Damian Priest too, because he's pretty fucking over off of what happened after SummerSlam.
Yeah, I do think a lot of times that second reign really cements him, but
it does.
I do think this reign has done a lot to elevate Swerve, and I think it would be completely dishonest to say that his profile has not been raised by this title run.
Right, exactly, which I think is the most important thing, because like anybody could hold the championship, but to really feel like the champion and get sent into that top guy status off of carrying the championship is what's really important. Because like, think of like a wrestler like Jinder Mahal, like he was the champion, but he didn't become a top guy off of that.
Yeah. I've seen Jinder's back outside. He's got the
Very
band
outside.
back together with Bollywood Boys.
Yep.
Love to see it, man. I'm a big fan of Saints, man. So seeing him back
they're
with the
really
Saints,
fucking
cool.
good. So I'm happy to see them together, and it seems like they're having a really good time out in GCW and other random indies.
Yeah, seeing the three of them back together, seeing them in GCW, it's just funny, but I like them. They are definitely a tag team that I thought WWE should have done more with.
I thought that AEW was going to sign them. They had a couple of matches maybe earlier this year, and I was like, oh, they're probably going to get signed, and I'm surprised that they didn't. Yeah. Like, the market that they represent for, like, bro, what y'all doing? Better get those guys. And they're super talented, you know?
Yeah, no, those guys were bumping their ass off during the title run. See, more for Tony P says, now that my hot takes are over, I have a hot question. Was that Bryan match always the end goal for Swerve? Possible end as champion? Remember, Will did the match at Forbidden Door, so people could stop talking about him being the Swerve at All In. So I asked, would Bryan Swerve push faster because Will asked for the match to happen earlier, which I believe personally, or did Will asking for the match at Forbidden Door change Swerve's booking completely, along with who was supposed to really beat him for the belt? That is an interesting question, because
that's a lot. But all I'll say is Bryan and Swerve at All In was always the thing. That's all I'll say about it. Nothing changed. That was the main event, and it's been talked about being a main event for a long time. So
I would assume that Swerve versus Ospreay was not in the plans at all.
That wasn't in the plan, but the all-in match was always going to be a plan.
Well, I say that because he brought up Ospreay suggesting the match. And I think that's just smart on Ospreay, realizing one, that the fans wanted that match, and B, that as long as he hadn't lost yet, people were always gonna have this shadow over Swerve's head of, oh, this guy is the champion. Like, you're just holding that belt, keeping it warm until Ospreay actually beats you. And so I think it was smart to not only just do the match and do the match on a big stage like that in New York, but give Swerve the win. And I don't think we would have gotten either of those things if Ospreay didn't suggest it, because it didn't seem like they had planned on doing that match at all.
No, I didn't think. I think it was a little too early. I don't think they were going to do it at all in. Like, I think they were going to eventually get to it. I didn't think they were going to get to it so quickly. It did bring up. I have a lot of respect for Will Ospreay, but even whoever made that decision, because like that was going to linger as long as Ospreay was up there cooking, and for them to kind of just like immediately get to it, to like give some breathing space to Swerve's reign and what's going to happen, I think was a great move.
Yeah. I'm inclined to believe that they probably had a plan in mind for All In for a while, and they just changed the booking around the Ospreay match. I think that they already had their destination in mind, if I had to guess.
Totally. But if a top guy like Ospreay is like, hey, let's do this match, you fucking do that match. Right. And he can lose too? Oh, let's do it.
Right. Tony P says, I would get into the Priest Cody debate, but as I said, Priest has the better stories around his matches, but they ended the same way. Sadly, that made people not care and see him as a real champion. Cody had better matches, but other than AJ, suspect stories. Yeah, I agree with that. I think some people that are acting like Cody has had a bad reign are very weird. I don't understand that take. I think Cody's had a good reign. I just think that there was always going to be a ceiling around him and what he could do as champion, as long as you kept him linked to the bloodline. And
okay, let's lead that into what happened on SmackDown last night. Since we're talking about Cody's reigns, they announced last night that at Bash at Berlin, Cody's going to take on Kevin Owens. And so throughout SmackDown, they kind of told the story of Kevin Owens saying he doesn't deserve it. Like, he didn't earn this title shot. He don't know why he's getting it. And Cody's like, you're getting it, dude. You've been helping me. You did earn it. Like, you are the guy. You deserve this. And so some people are like, what's the story on that? Why is Kevin Owens wrestling Cody? Where do you kind of stand on Cody's new number one contender?
It makes sense story-wise because Kevin Owens has been out of the world title picture for a while.
Yes.
And Cody is right. If he wanted to reward a guy that has been helping him for the past year, I mean, just think back to Roman's first match with Cody, and the guys that interfered to try and help him win that match were Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yep.
And from then on, also how they
every time that Cody's gotten helped, Kevin Owens is somewhere around there.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at how they've been linked, when you look at the last few weeks of SmackDown, and how all of his allies started getting picked apart and taken out, I think he felt guilty about what happened with Kevin Owens. And he's like, man, this guy has done so much for me, and I possibly got this guy injured. I want to go give back to him. I want to give him a title match. So it made perfect sense to me. It also made sense with Kevin Owens' character that he would feel like, no, I haven't earned this. I thought it was very, very good storytelling, and also a very good wink at the camera of Kevin Owens telling Cody, wins and losses should matter, and I've lost a lot of matches. Look at my wins and loss record. I thought that was very funny when you point out that Cody Rhodes was the guy in AEW that wanted wins and losses to matter, and I do not think that was an accident.
No. And the fact that Kevin Owens was saying it to him,
I thought that was very funny. And it just points out also with Kevin Owens is the guy that is going to break the fourth wall and point out things in the storytelling that don't make sense, and it's going to make realistic comments on what's happening on TV. Even him saying, Roman Reigns, you're going to give him that match. Why does he deserve that match? Go in that locker room. There are a bunch of other people in that locker room that deserve that title match. And he's right. So for him to be the one that says that, I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, when you do the face versus face title match,
We just talked about this with Brian and Swerve.
it can get tricky. But I think the other and this could be my own headcanon, but I think the other small bit that they put in there with Kevin Owens and Kevin Owens not wanting the title match is that we've seen everything that Kevin Owens will do to be champion. We've seen the lengths that he will go to be champion. You saw what he did to Sami Zayn in NXT to be champion. We saw how he became world champion on the main roster. And I think part of it is not just feeling like I don't deserve this. It's like, don't put me in this spot, because if I feel like I have to do something to beat you, to be champion, I'll do that. And I don't want to have to do that.
Yep, I think that energy of them with Nick Aldis when they were announcing the match, and at the end, Kevin Owens is like, "I guess I'll see you there." Like that, like you're gonna take me to that point that I don't want to go to get to that championship. That's really,
and I feel like that's really the undertone to it of Owens being like, "No, I'm chilling. I've been chilling. I've been happy.
I don't want to go there, dog.
But
like when I go there, life is crazy."
But if it becomes me or you, and it becomes about being champion, and this is what I've wanted for the longest, it's you then. If I got to do something crazy to get you up out of here, I might. And then I also think it's partially to also continue to build the storyline with Randy Orton, because I do think that part of this is building up, okay, why did you offer him the match and not Orton before Orton had to go over there and get his match from Gunther? Which I think this is all leading you to red herring to get people to think that Owens is going to turn on him. And I still think that Randy Orton is going to be the one that turns on him.
Because we're going to Orton and Cody at Bad Blood, probably. In
Possibly.
Atlanta. I would think so.
Possibly.
It's a good story. It tells a lot of things, too, of like Cody is... Randy's in the background of this, and then even during the promo last night, Cody was still like, but I also still want to have a match with Roman Reigns, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I liked it. I liked what they did with this, because I thought we were heading to the Roman rematch.
Right.
So I was very curious, and even all this saying that he wanted to give Roman the match. And I did very much like that Kevin Owens was like, wait a minute, I don't want the match, but you're going to give it to him? I hate that guy.
I do also, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I also see what Cody's doing. He had this series of matches with AJ, and now he's going to have this badass match with Kevin Owens. I'm like, I also see what's going on here. There's a lot of stories and a lot of things being told here.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, there's undertones to stuff in that segment that I thought were good.
And the match is gonna bang.
He's so good at tying these little things from AEW that fans of his that were longtime fans will understand, but other people might not. Even if you go back to the end of SummerSlam, and there's that exclusive part after the show where Roman is walking away and he's saying, "That's mine. You're holding on to it, but that belongs to me." And the whole time, Cody is tapping the title belt, and he's doing it with the 3 fingers up. Come on, bro. Like, there's no way he's not doing it intentionally, man.
It says all intentional. You know Cody, and you know Kevin, you know these guys. They are so they want to tell stories, and they want subliminals, and they want Easter eggs. It's just like kind of how they move.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to get all into SummerSlam. We did an entire review on SummerSlam.
We did.
At this point, if you didn't watch it, you know what we did or did not like from it. I thought it was a solid show. The stuff that I really liked. I was really surprised we didn't get anything with Nia on this show. That was one of my favorite matches from that show.
Same here.
And so I was surprised we didn't get Nia cutting a promo on the show at all.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, damn, it didn't happen.
We got the vignette and the highlights from it, but we didn't see.
We didn't see her with their belt.
We didn't see Nia or Bailey on the show, which was an interesting choice. But
pretty glaring.
Yeah. Of course, the biggest talking point were Bracelet Gate or the main event, and I mean, the Punk match was what it was. I think supercuts of what I said from the review is that the issue here is if you're gonna build this feud to be this heated blood rivalry. You can't then go in and never get out of the first gear with this match.
Yeah.
I never felt like the match matched the intensity that you got out of all of the segments. I mean, Punk got stretchered out.
Yep.
And then we did this very by the numbers match at the pay-per-view. That doesn't make sense to me.
Fighting over a bracelet when this is supposed to be a blood feud. They're both coming into the show saying, I'm going to leave you bloody. This is going to be your last match. This is all this. And then it's like a pretty by the numbers regular match.
Yeah. And I mean, the match itself was fine. I enjoyed it, but I don't think it lived up to the build.
Right.
And it felt a lot like the Nakamura AJ feud where they had built up all of this goodwill and they had got fans excited for it. And then you get to the pay-per-view and it's like, oh, well, we're not done. We're still telling stories. It's like, yeah, but I want the first installment of it to be good.
Something.
I want it to stand on its own, and I don't think that match was good enough to stand on its own.
See, that's what gets me frustrated about modern wrestling and kind of trilogy or whatever, however people think of like bookings. It's like, okay, they announced this dream match. Well, it's probably not going to be this because they got a match coming up or they got a show coming up here. Or it's always some kind of stipulations as to why this single match that we're watching right now isn't the best that it could possibly be.
Yeah.
Like, that was the story at SummerSlam. It's like, oh, they're building to another match, so this match isn't going to be as good. But like, why can't I have a great match here and another great match when they have another one? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, this definitely felt very safe. It felt very like, all right, let's just get this one out in the books, and there's a bigger match down the line.
A bigger match down the line, my fucking worst nightmare. One, just because I think that they don't put enough faith in these wrestlers. Like, they could have a big match here and then also have a big match over there. That's what makes these wrestlers great, is variety, is difference. Like, you think that it's not one and done, dude. Like, give them the opportunity to shine in this one, and then the next one they can do something even better than that. I just think that sometimes they rely too heavily on story and the matches take a back seat to it. That's the big problem here, but you know.
Yeah, but I think that was the pay-per-view on a whole. It was very storyline driven, and that's their product, and that's fine. I if that's what you tune in for, and usually, to be honest, that's what I tune into WWE stuff for, the storyline stuff, because the in-ring stuff can be good, but if I want just like straightforward, fast-paced action, that I go to AEW or New Japan or Stardom or something else. That's not usually what I run the WWE for. And that's not to say that WWE cannot give you those things. That's just not really what they pride themselves on. They pride themselves on the storytelling.
What makes me frustrated is because we just talked about a little while earlier. Raw felt like, it felt energized. It felt exciting. It felt fast paced. It felt way different than what SummerSlam was. So I don't really understand.
Even if you look at SmackDown, we got a heater. That Andrade Santos match was fire.
Cooker. Yeah, they was going at it. Yeah, it's all like they have it. And like I was saying, even about the tag division, like sometimes the tag matches on SmackDown and Raw are fire. They're heat. Yep. They're 20 minutes. They get time. They get all this. But then when they get to the big show, that's just not how they present their big shows anymore.
No, because they're interested in the moments, and that's what they do. And I mean, I'm not even saying that like that's the wrong thing to do.
No, that's what they built their business model on.
That's what they've built their brand on. That's how they've made all of this money. That's how they stayed around for this long. It's just not always what I would prefer to see, and that's fine.
Especially when you're giving up 8 hours worth of content, essentially starting and like. You know what I mean? Like, you're giving up all this time and you're telling all this, but you're not giving enough matches to match up with the time.
But solid pay-per-view. Of course, the biggest talking point from the pay-per-view was the return of Roman Reigns.
Big Rome's back.
I'm on the fence of how I feel about the main event being, and even the build to the main event being a vehicle for his return. Because it was a big risk. How do I say this? If the match didn't deliver in the way that some people wanted it to deliver, and people have been waiting with all of the intentions in the world to have good faith arguments about Cody's title run. And I think if you were waiting for ammo to go, okay, well, this storyline hasn't been that good, or that this match wasn't good, immediately bringing Roman in and having him outshine him at the end of the show.
Having him outshine everybody in this angle.
This was immediately going to make you feel like you were right. Like, well, why did they take the belt off of Roman? Because look, he's still the biggest star in the company, and Cody's not hacking it. And that's not entirely true. But again, all of this stuff was built up a way for you to be excited for Roman, and execution was great.
Yeah, they did it.
But like I said, this was a calculated risk, and
it's because it felt like that during the match, Phil. Like when the match is happening, like we know what this is. We're just waiting for Roman.
The second the match started, we want Roman chant.
Yeah,
immediately. I don't think most people went into this match hoping that Solo won the match. I think we all pretty much assumed that Solo was going to lose.
Right.
But we all knew what was probably coming afterwards, that Roman was gonna come out, and so that would make all of it worth it.
It did.
I think it did, because I think that this was a massive moment on SummerSlam, and I think that this is what they want.
Gigantic pop! Oh my God! Yeah,
excellent pop. I mean, Roman coming out, hitting the Superman punch, and the second he went in the corner and did the taunt for the spear, bro.
The fucking hoorah! People were going bananas. Oh my God!
It went crazy. And so the execution of this, of having Roman go away, giving us time to miss him, and then building Solo up as this monster heel, and having him tear down all these things that Roman built, whether kicking Heyman out or disrespecting the lineage that he's created, that was a way to get us excited for Roman, and it worked tremendously. And we saw that both at the pay-per-view and last night.
Yep. I like this to the point that Busby was making earlier. Of he feels more like Big Dog Roman Reigns than Tribal Chief. It's been a little bit different than what he was previously presented, because the Roman Reigns we knew before, he take an hour for his entrance, he soaks it all in, he looks around the crowd. This time he came in, kicked ass, and left. You know what I mean? Like he's being presented a different way, like on the show and at SmackDown.
Yeah, he has not cut a single promo yet, which is interesting.
Said no word.
Because the second he came out on SummerSlam, I was like, all right, we're probably going to get a Roman segment on Friday, and we didn't.
We didn't. It was kind of the same thing, essentially.
Yeah.
Do you think they continue this?
Yeah, I think that they're trying to mark a shift here, because I do very much feel like this was the point, even back at WrestleMania. I saw the face turn coming a mile away.
It's been coming for like a year at this point, honestly.
So, and I think they've executed all these things well, but the thing that I say in all of this, and you see the way that Roman is presented, you see the way all of this was created as a vehicle for him and how this was all built up, you can always tell who is their guy and who is not their guy. Cody is not their guy. People force their hand with Cody. Cody is over. He's super popular, and it's not that I don't feel like they believe in Cody, but Cody's not their first choice, and it's very obvious. Roman is their first choice. Roman is the guy that they want to push to the moon, and they want to give all the accolades, and it's always clear as day. You can see that. You can see that at SummerSlam, and you can see it yesterday.
WWE is a one top guy business. That's just all it is. When John Cena was on top, it was John Cena. When Hogan was on top, it was Hogan. They got one guy, and they're gonna put all their marbles in that guy's basket. And like you said, SmackDown and SummerSlam, it was glaring that that Roman Reigns, this is his. All of this is his. We're all just waiting for him to show up.
Yes. And again, all the production and everything behind it, they do this very well. When the machine is behind somebody, it's
I mean, if you got me hyped for a Roman return, you did something right, you know?
And this just goes back to what we were saying and how the times have changed, because, man, they've been chasing this reaction to Roman for over 10 years.
Yep.
They've been chasing this babyface reaction to this guy for the longest, bro.
You know how many the Shield was a vehicle for Roman Reigns. He's had so many vehicles.
Yes. So they've been the fact that it's finally worked and they got the babyface reaction for him that they've wanted all this time. Bro, it's gonna be what it is. I don't think you need to put the championship back on him.
I was gonna say, so what does this mean for Cody, Phil?
I don't know, because I think I think Cody has been having a good run as champion.
Yeah.
But I think it's in spite of some of the limitations they put in front of him.
Totally. Cody, like you said, they forced it. We forced their hands with Cody, and Cody made them force their hand. Cody was like,
yeah.
I'm sure Cody saw like, oh, you guys love Roman, but I'm not going to let you guys bury me. Like, I'm going to be the top guy that I deserve, that I think I deserve to be. And he did it.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's somebody that's going to be like, oh, you marks, they didn't force. Bro, they had taken Cody out of the main event.
He was out. He was out.
He was the Royal Rumble winner 2 years in a row.
And he came on TV and said, actually, you can have my match, The Rock.
They had taken him out of the main event. That was your first hint right away that he's not their guy. He was never their guy. That was his whole story of leaving and coming back, is that he was never their guy. So, man, he came back and he and the fans forced their hand. But at the end of the day, you know what this really is. Cody is the top guy, and in their eyes, as long as he's around, he's going to be the top guy. And everything from
they wanted this guy to be the top guy since 2013, and he is exactly at the position that they've been trying to get him. They've been forcing Royal Rumble wins. He was in like 8 straight WrestleMania main events. Like, they've been trying to get to this for over 10 years, and they finally accomplished it. Cody should be applauded for what he did and where he got. He is the number 2 guy by far, but this is Roman Reigns' company. Yeah. This is his.
No, that's always the case. And I mean, all of this stuff they're doing with him right now, and that's why, like I said, I thought that they were going to just do Cody versus Roman at Bash in Berlin and get it over with, but no. We're gonna milk this, and we're gonna keep Cody circling around bloodline stuff. And I think that has kind of hampered his run as champion. And not even kind of, it has. Because he hasn't been allowed to build his own storylines. He hasn't been allowed to seem like the main character on SmackDown.
He hasn't carved his own identity out. It's just all connected to bloodline.
Because, I mean, and I've been racking my brain over this for 2 days because people are trying to tell me Priest is a better champion than him. And I think the biggest difference is that Judgment Day, for better or worse, they're the main storyline. He felt like a main character on Raw.
Yep.
Cody does not feel like a main character on SmackDown because it still feels like the Bloodline show. Mm-hmm. And even when Roman's not there, it's still the Bloodline show.
Yeah.
And so I still don't necessarily agree that Priest has had a better reign because, I mean, Priest didn't even beat anybody clean as champion. There was always interference. But
I can't say his reign is better than Cody's.
I don't agree with that, but still, I think what people are seeing is that, hey man, this Cody stuff is cool, but this is still a Bloodline show. This is still Roman's show. By extension, this is still Roman's company.
That's it. And it's the announcements, the way that WWE built SmackDown around it, the way that the crowd reacts, the way that the whole show we're just waiting for Roman. It's very apparent, and I think everybody no one should be upset, just be along for the ride. No. Like, Cody got to have 2 main events, like he got to do it all. It's promise time.
2-time Royal Rumble winner, first back-to-back Royal Rumble winner since 1998.
He established himself.
You can make the argument that they really built WrestleMania around him for 3 years in a row.
It's facts.
And they haven't really done that for anybody other than Roman. So I think that the fact that he's gone away and he has, like I said, forced their hand, that's big kudos to Cody. And I don't think it's over. I think he's still got more to do as champion. But again, you know how this goes. When you could tell that person is their guy, at any point they'll pull that rug out from under you, and it's that guy's.
Give him his belt back. Give Roman his belt back, Cody.
Yeah,
that could happen at any moment.
at any moment. But with all that said, I think all of the Roman stuff was great. I thought his return was great. I thought it got the intended reaction. Yep. I thought his return was super hot. It felt like a big moment. He felt like a massive star.
Yeah.
And the same thing with SmackDown. Having the segments the same way that you would usually do a Roman segment, but it was Solo leading it, and you're supposed to feel like, no, you're a fraud. You're not supposed to be here. Even when he came out and he tried to cut the promo on Cody and say, I want a rematch, and Cody completely fried him. Fried this man like you have no claim to a rematch.
Yeah.
He would have never been able to do that to Roman, and that's the point. So to get to the end of the show and you're still building all this stuff off of him having the what is the name of the lay that he has on I forgot the exact term for it. Yeah, I forgot the exact term for it. Sorry, I'm a podcaster and I don't have this in my head. I it's on the tip of my tongue, but having it built around the lay and the lineage and the title of tribal chief, it also kind of builds my point that I was saying a year ago that you could have took that belt off of Roman and it didn't have to be about the belt. It could have been just about him being tribal chief and the family strife around it. All of this stuff in this segment proved that.
Look at that on SmackDown. He slowly looked towards the lay. They were doing everything they would have did with the championship, but with the lay. So why didn't we just do this originally then? If that's what this is all about, what happened here? You know what I mean? Like Cody got caught up in some shit that he shouldn't have even been caught up in originally.
This that stuff in that segment reminded me something I told you a few days ago, and it was hilarious when I figured it out. The olive fillet, that's what it's pronounced. That's what it is. The delay. But while I was watching that segment, it reminded me of something I told you a few days ago, and when I recognized it, it was very funny to me. The Drew Punk match was booked a lot of ways like a Roman match. It had all the hallmarks of the Roman matches as champion. The talking during the middle of it,
the monologue in the middle of the match,
the monologuing. I mean, when he picked up the lay, I was like, it's just like the bracelet stuff.
Pick it up slowly, look at it.
Slowly it look produced at the same way.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, I was like, that's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what about that match I wasn't interested in, but that's exactly why I knew that audience would like it, because it's booked exactly the same way. The ref bump and everything, booked exactly like a Roman match. So if that's not for you, you don't like the pace of those kind of matches, you probably weren't gonna like it. But for that audience, I understood what they were doing.
Yeah, but no, the Roman return I thought was great. Him hitting the Superman punch on SummerSlam, like the pop from him hitting his move was crazy. Reiterated again on SmackDown. Him having the stare down with Solo, I thought was really good. Like, it's crazy how huge of a star is, and we've said it many times on this podcast. Like, there was moments where Roman wasn't the guy; he wasn't going to make it. We thought it wasn't it. Like they fought hard to get him to this position, and like the response online to people being like, Roman's the guy far and away, fuck everybody else. It's like, okay, they really accomplished this. Took 4 years of a championship, but they did it.
Bro, all of this stuff hit. The OTC chant caught on immediately. Bro, that reaction when he hit the ooh-wah on SmackDown, it felt like it was even louder than a pay-per-view reaction.
Yeah. Rumbling the fucking stadium.
Yeah, just crazy. I thought all of that was executed very well. I think Solo has filled his role very well. But even watching this, it's become even more clear the point of the new version of the Bloodline is not just to serve as a foil for Roman and this vehicle for his redemption story, but it's very clear who the guy in that faction is supposed to be, because those guys looked like chumps against Roman. The guy that would have stood a chance wasn't there. And I think I hope that, the injury stuff is not serious, but it also leads me to believe that it's partially a work and he was never supposed to be in that segment, because you don't want to blow your load on a Roman Jacob thing.
You can't have Roman squash him or beat him or hit or do anything to him. Yeah.
No, you want to set all of this stuff up for Jacob to come back, and he's the guy that evens the scales. And so when I was watching it, I was like, oh, that's smart. That's smart. You don't want to do the Jacob Roman stuff right away.
And you can't have Jacob get over on Roman either at this time. Like they can't interact at this is all it is.
You don't want Jacob to come in and then, like, even if you're just trying to protect him, and you don't want Jacob to look like a chump like those guys, but he also can't look too strong right away against Roman.
Exactly, right.
So it just makes more sense to just not have him in the segment.
Yeah, just too many variables on to that 1 minute interaction on SmackDown. That's like, what if we just eliminate all of that and just have him beat up Solo and it's be over? I thought it worked really well. And I kind of like Solo going from super confident mob boss to like, I fucked up.
Everything about it. His reaction after SummerSlam with him like sitting on the ground yelling. But man, starting the show getting completely cooked by Cody and walking away with nothing. And then at the end of the show, when Roman is coming out and he's like kind of leerily taking his jacket off, like, I guess I'm about to fight this guy.
I mean, I wasn't planning on this.
Like, hey, you fill this role pretty well, but standing next to the actual guy, no, you're not. You're not.
You ain't never felt no energy like this right now. This face off of Roman when you were just out here with the other guys. You know, like this is what it is.
Just different vibes.
Right.
Totally different vibes. But yeah, I thought all of this was great. I think they've kept the bloodline stuff interesting for now.
I mean, this is a good way to get me back in. I was kind of down on them just beating up Cody every week for the last 4 weeks. Bringing Roman back is the way to do it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Roman is going to have a match at Bash at Berlin. If he's not going to be in the title match,
maybe Spock speculated about him working Cody, but then like he could have. I don't think they would have rushed to Jacob that soon either if Jacob wasn't in whatever position he's in right now.
Yeah, maybe it's the Roman solo match that they're going to do there.
I mean, yeah.
I don't think that's a Bash in Berlin match personally, but maybe.
Because it's not another big show match. You know what I mean? Like, might as well give it up right now.
Yeah. But yeah, they're going to get to all the beats. Eventually, Jimmy has to be coming back. Eventually, we're going to get to the Jay stuff as well.
Jay will come over. Sammy will probably be involved. Everything's going to get back to where it was. This is Roman's show again, is where I think we're leading to, right? SmackDown is just back to what it was.
Yeah. Which we'll be moving to USA soon.
USA coming up.
Very interesting.
There's a lot going on. I keep saying CW advertisements for NXT. I'm like, man, it's about to get weird.
Absolutely about to get weird. Yeah, I thought all of this was good. For some of my criticisms of SummerSlam, I thought all of the Roman stuff was great. I think the Roman stuff for SmackDown was great. SmackDown is still kind of blah. I think Raw was the better show this week, but
crazy.
The Roman stuff ended up being good. Man, go figure. Andrade is turning into one of my favorite SmackDown wrestlers because he's giving it up. He's having the fire matches every week.
I was nervous when he, all this talk of him going back. I was like, he might just be in the same position, maybe even worse, going back to WWE. I was wrong. He has been having a lot of really great matches, just hooping on SmackDown with Melo last night with Santos. Like, I think that the position they put him in is really dope, and he came to play.
Yeah. Santos was very funny last night when Santos came out there and interrupted the LA Knight promo, and he was like, nah, man, I know what you think. You come out here and do the catchphrase, but nah, it's gonna be S go bar C. Hilarious.
He's great too. I'm telling you, SmackDown got the heavy hitters over there and the single stars.
Yeah, even after the match when he won, when Andrade got cheated and he hit it again, he's like, yeah, see, Escobar, see.
see, and they're saying that was their first match. You guys didn't want to watch a dope match from SmackDown, definitely check that out.
Yeah, no, that match was hot. Like I said, I've been enjoying what Andrade is doing. It seems like we're gonna get a Bello Andrade rematch. And I like that they're slowly building up these guys for the U.S. title picture scene. Again, if you had any doubts about LA Knight and how he is still over, still a very popular guy.
Still so over. Oh my God, that pop he got last night. The pop he got winning at SummerSlam. Like, no, dude's over.
Nah, got a new theme song came out. I feel like the LA Knight promo is either for you or it's not for you. But I think his one-liners that he had in the promo, when he kept coming back to that one hit a quitter again, hit it and quit it again, hit it and quit it. I thought that was hilarious. Even when Escobar comes out there and he was talking about how he deserves, he's like, nah, the only thing you deserve is to get the brakes beat off you. Hilarious.
LA Knight, no, I see it. I still see it. He still got it. I'm excited that he got that championship off of that loser and is going to move forward as it.
No, I'm glad that the U.S. title is actually on the show and it's not on a guy that is not very likable at all. And we're back with the human Kavorka machine, man.
Yeah, we back, baby. That's lit. I posted a video last night. If you guys saw, I was doing a rap set because I'm gonna rap at Vinny Massaro's birthday party tomorrow. Shout out to that. So I started a song. I rapped a wrestling match on SmackDown. Started at the same time that the song began. The song's about. None of my songs are longer than a Twitter video, which is like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So after 2 minutes and 20 seconds, the match was over. It was Jade Cargill and Alba Fire, I think. I rapped a song. I turned around, I turned back, and the match was over. And I was like, "What happened here?" So
Still doing the quick matches with Jade.
They're still doing that. Yeah, they're still doing that quick match with Jade.
But I mean, I like what they're building to. They're building to the trios match with Blair and the Witches versus the Big Three. They got me twice now, where I just saw someone with dark hair and leather pants from behind. I was like, "Wait, that's Saraya?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, it's Blair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep, no, that's not Saraya. She's not there. Mm-hmm.
But
that's her influence.
yeah, I just think it's a lot of watching AEW, and yeah, this is twice now. I was like, "Wait,
That's Saraya.
that's Saraya? Not Saraya." Okay.
Mixing the white girls up.
Saraya last night on Rampage was also funny. Harley on the apron saying, "Man, hit her with the Rampage." That's not the name of it anymore. Hasn't been named that in 2 years. Come on, Harley. Good night.
Rampage. Yeah, shout out to maybe she'll get a match at All In. Who knows?
I know. Yeah. For some reason, people were very upset at you liking Collision more than SummerSlam, which is totally on brand for you because, and I don't know why people think that. I know people are like, "Oh, well, he's an AEW show," but what Collision is geared for you. It's just straightforward wrestling. That's what you want to see. If you want just like the filler and the storytelling and all that other stuff, that's not really a show for you. And as somebody that has known you for years and is actually your friend, I'm like, why are you guys surprised by that? That's
Who's surprised? I've been saying this since the beginning.
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, I don't want to get into it's just your opinion like I tweeted, but I'm like, bro, it's just his opinion. If you like SummerSlam, nobody's stopping you from liking SummerSlam. Him tweeting that doesn't change the fact that you think that SummerSlam was a better show.
Nope. None of my tweets says, and if you thought SummerSlam was great, you're a fucking idiot. It didn't say that at all. I said, I like Collision. I said, it wasn't even about liking the show. It was about the numbers that you guys stupidly obsessed
I knew what you meant.
You know what I mean? It ain't even about the shows. It's about fuck these numbers. Good shows happens no matter what the numbers are. That's what I was trying to say, but people don't want to hear that part.
Of course. And this is as a guy that's been coming on this podcast from day one, telling you I don't care about ratings. I just want to enjoy the show. And if I enjoy this show, that's what I'm going to talk about. I don't care what numbers it did.
And then people are like, well, that show sucks. Nobody watched it. I'm like, but it didn't suck. I watched it and I liked it. So how are you saying that?
But yeah, now Collision has been hidden, man. Hologram has become like one of the fixtures on Saturday nights. Hollow Gang is in full effect.
Big time.
They showed the highlight package for him on Dynamite, and I was like, nah, Hologram outside, bro.
Cooker. I didn't expect it. Like, there was a controversy, like, who is this? What is this? Tony Khan made up his own character or whatever. I don't know. It has been awesome. He does like mind-blowing spots in every match. He's must see. He's like exactly what like a really cool, this is just for Collision type wrestler is. I'm really excited about Hologram. He's killing it.
That does raise the question though. Do you think that part of the reason that they've been doing so much with Hologram on Collision to build him up is because he's going to be on All In?
Yeah. I'm just trying, like, where would he be? I'm like, I guess he could be in the Casino Gauntlet.
He could be in the Casino Gauntlet, but I would not be surprised because you don't have a match announced for Ricochet yet. If Ricochet is going to show up.
I keep forgetting about the homeboy.
If you want to do the Hologram Ricochet match, this has been a great way to build up Hologram as a guy that people would want to see against Ricochet, even if it's just a quick exchange in the Gauntlet match.
They also another guy that's looming or out there named Pac that could have a match and has not had anything announced yet.
When is his TNT title match?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, Collision. I think if you just like straightforward wrestling, you're gonna enjoy it.
Like that's why I'm like, well, I don't even know why people going crazy out this. Like this is a righteous rage tweet. Why are you acting stupid?
We got a big match tonight. We got the Texas Bull Rope match with Thunder Rosa taking on Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna was saying that she wanted that match at Impact, so it's cool that she's getting to do it here. And of course, Thunder Rosa has talked a lot about how Dustin is one of her mentors. So
it's exciting.
Makes sense.
They've had a bunch of great matches against each other. This rivalry and feud has been going well, and I'm excited. I'm sure that they're going to get time, and this is going to be a really good one.
Yeah. Got probably some more humper chats and some super chats, and then I guess we're ready to get out of here.
We're out of here. All right. Hey, what's over there says, Phil, any Stardom match recommendations? Looking to get into it after seeing the Grand Prix press conference, especially the one girl that cut a promo in German.
Who cut a promo in German?
I didn't see it.
I didn't watch all the press conference. See, from this year, I mean, the big match from last year that was on a lot of the year-end matches and was a 5-star / broke the scale match was the Shuri Utami match? That was a big one. Yeah, they've got 2 matches from that year that are excellent.
There was the one Dave don't want to give up 5 stars, but they got like 4.75 or something.
Yeah. Recently?
No, the Utami and I think it was like maybe the second match from last year.
No, the second match he gave it like 6.5 or something crazy.
Did he? They got a 6-star match?
No, I gotta look this up now.
I don't know. I thought that both those he only gave like 4.75 as the most.
No, one of those matches he gave it like a high ranking. It was a big deal because it was the highest he's rated a women's match in a long time.
Because he don't like them.
I didn't say all that.
I thought he was gonna give which match did he liked Layla and Diamante from ROH, and he was praising it, and then he gave it like a 4 or something, like a 3.5. I'm like, thought you liked this match.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I am way off. This match is from 2021. Shuri versus Utami from Stardom Tokyo Dream Cinderella Special Edition. Got 5.5 stars.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So watch that.
Yeah, that's which Utami is no longer with the company. She is with Warrior Gold now. Shuri is still there. There's a Shuri Julia match recently that was great. I think Julia's feud with Tam Nakano is also great. I was a big Arisa fan, probably my favorite white belt champion. She has since retired, but man, if you just look up all of Arisa's matches from that title reign, she's had some great matches. Arisa versus Sasuke was great. Arisa versus Tam, also fire. Yeah, Utami is another one where you could look up a lot of her match catalog. She's got great ones.
She's got bangs.
Mayu Iwatani is another one. Fantastic matches. That's a lot. That's a lot of recommendations.
That's like 10 matches.
There's Azumi matches from the last few years that have also been fire. Azumi's one of my favorite wrestlers over there.
Yep. Laron Forrest says Swerve has accomplished a lot in his first reign. Definitely has.
Yeah.
Laron also says even Jericho put over Swerve in his Sports Illustrated interview.
Yeah, I feel like Jericho's been pretty vocal about how much he's a fan of Swerve and how much he's
for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, what's over there said at some point we will all be getting Roman Bloodline versus High Chief Rock Bloodline at Mania.
Yeah, they've been trying to get to this match for almost 4 years at this point, maybe longer. So I have to assume if they can make this match happen, and I think that's part of the reason to turn Roman face. It's funny, man, not getting that match this year. I feel like it's kind of a blessing in disguise for them.
It was. Because it all worked out.
Because I think they're going to have a better story when they actually do the match if they can in Vegas.
So funny. Like they stumbled into this like on accident. I don't know, something happened. And then Hey What's Over There also says WWE internally still views Cody as Stardust. That's the way it reads to me. Cody the American Nightmare would never be the guy in WWE because they didn't help create it.
Yeah, of course, that's the other
There's some
part
truth
of
to
it.
that, man.
That they're always going to go with their creations, and Roman is
Yep.
their creation.
He's theirs.
In a lot of ways, everything about Cody right now, he went somewhere else and built that up.
It's almost the same thing with Lashley. It's like he
Yeah.
went to Impact and built a whole nother thing, and then he came back hot as hell. But they're like, well, we didn't really do that. And it's like that's always going to kind of stick in the back of their heads because that's WWE. But then it's also like in Cody and Bobby Lashley's case, they became who they were in your company. So wouldn't you still got the connection? Because like Cody's has so much of his career attached to WWE and Bobby Lashley. It's like you should. It almost still feels like your creation at this point.
Yeah.
That's all of our super chats. Appreciate everybody submitting super chats today. There was a good number of them, and y'all are very generous, and y'all are very cool.
Simeon is correct, and this just tells you how time often feels like it's not a real thing. Ariza Hoshiki only wrestled full time for about 2 years, from 2011 to 2012, and then 2019 to 2020 before she retires. She's only 28 years old now. But that white belt reign from 2019, from her Cinderella tournament win, and all the way up to when she retired, fire. Those matches from that year are incredible. We've got some humper chats left. We're gonna get up out of here.
Yeah, I gotta go. I got bills to pay. My landlord's like, bring my money.
Tony P says, on to Mariah / Tony. You think Mina is coming back to help Tony or Mariah? I think it's Mariah, and the match she had with Viva Van on Wednesday was possibly a setup for Tony / Viva versus Mariah / Mina tag. Also, you think their match is going to have a special stipulation? I think the opposite, Tony. I think that Mariah is going to beat down on Mina because Mina is very much liked by the fan base, and I think she's going to do that as another means to get heat on her.
Yeah, because it felt like the whole story that they were building when Mina was around is that Mariah was using the both of them kind of at the end of the day, and I think that she's going to reiterate that when Mina comes back of like, no, I was just using you to get to this championship.
Yeah, I definitely think she is going to turn on Mina as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tony also says, speaking of that, it looks like we're getting Willow Ishii versus Stat / Stoke at All In. Also, we know Saraya is going to be on that show, but who will it be? I hope it's Emmy, and we get the call back to last year or a tag with her, and Harley, for a tag with her and Harley versus Emmy and someone else. I would love that, but I don't believe that that's the case. I think Emmy should be on this show. I mean, that kind of built itself. Saraya and Harley versus Emmy and May Saruga makes a lot of sense, but I don't think they're going to do that.
I think Saraya is going to get a moment here for some reason, but I don't know what it will be.
Yeah. Shameful. Emmy should get on the Wembley card.
1,000%, but she just probably won't.
Our last one from Van Twin Blade. He says, in this week's stupid ass internet news, kids have discovered Cannibal Corpse lyrics and are upset that the lyrics are Cannibal Corpse lyrics. I thought we left. God, I hate purity politics. Shout out to streetscape kids and Olympics. Kids were wild. I don't know what half of that means.
Cannibal Corpse is like a, band death metal type shit. Yeah, that's just kind of how it is. They flipped on all the when they discover things that have been around for a long time, they always don't understand it. Nobody understands what Rage Against the Machine represents and when it did. And so it's funny to see people try to catch up with these new stuff and attach new morals and findings and things to old stuff.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot, especially with some of these bands and some of like songs that people didn't know what it meant then, and now it's like, oh, this is really horrible. We should cancel this band. Like,
yeah,
it's too late.
I think it's way too late. Yeah.
It's a little too late.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that is all our Humper Chats. I'm going to refresh to make sure.
Grapsody.
Appreciate you guys as always. That is all of our Humper Chats. And believe that is all of our Super Chats, correct?
Yep. That's everything.
That's all of them. Know what it is. This has been Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. It's Righteous Reg. I am probably going to go watch basketball.
Oh yeah, me too. That's why we gotta go, you guys. We're ending this right on time.
But it's been real. This has been Grapsody. We'll see you next week.
Peace.